All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Huckleberry today, and we have been graced with the presence of the preeminent Weird West designer of tabletop role-playing games. Maybe other medium, board game, video game, who knows? There's a lot of opportunity here, and if anyone would like...
I love that you can't get through it without laughing.
I can't. I just can't. I'm just looking at like Steven's like work, so much work. Yeah. If anyone would like to option Huckleberry for a TV
Don't take
series,
it off my hands, please. This is
Apple
so much
TV.
work. No one told me how
like
much
an Apple
work
TV
this would
television
be.
show. Yeah, pretty good. But yeah, we're back to playing Huckleberry. This is going to be the finale of the Vine comedy, which is the sort of the first scenario that we're going to have access to. And I'll let Steven take over and tell us a little bit about Huckleberry, where you can find it, all sorts of good stuff before we butcher his game. So go ahead there, Steven.
Everything Huckleberry is at huckleberryrpg.com. You can see the first episode of this actual play there. You can get links to all the socials, whichever social platform you prefer to follow on. Go ahead, give us a follow. It is for sale right now on drivethrurpg.com. Again, the link is at huckleberryrpg.com. Everything you want there. It's a real fun action Western game, but you're going to see that play out. We're going to jump right into the action here because Jeff is amazing and has done a great job GMing. Thank you to everyone on the screen for playing this. I gave Jeff a half-finished adventure. In the last night, I'm like, okay, it's 90% finished now. So he was like able to incorporate a few notes here and there. But this scenario will be bundled with the early access PDF. This is going to be the introductory scenario. So if you're enjoying what you're seeing, you'll be able to play it. And there will be a few tweaks because I've actually finished writing it. So you'll be able to play it with a little bit different flair. So it'll keep things fresh and interesting. But again, this has been amazing. You all are wonderful. And it's been a pleasure to watch. So thank you very much.
Fantastic. All right. So, and is there something else that you should let people know that you might be doing?
In the chat, we'll be doing a digital giveaway. Thank you, Jeff. I've completely forgotten. We just talked about it 30 seconds before, but I've got a goldfish brain. We're doing a digital giveaway. Anyone can enter. You'll get a coupon code for DriveThruRPG, so you just need a DriveThru free account, and you'll be able to win a copy of Huckleberry. So hang out in the chat. We'll call it out when we get the chance. We'll get yourself a free copy.
There you go. I love the energy. And then at the end, he's like, how do you end these things? Like, I get it.
I don't know.
Like, there are times I do that when I come into...
Did I mention it was free?
I do that all the time when I start up the show. Like, I kind of let energy, like, welcome to Adventures, like, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, shit, what now? And then I'm just like, Long, who's your favorite Dallas Cowboy?
The quarterback.
I am impressed you knew the right sport. So that's great. That's fantastic. All right. So, all right. Thank you, Steven. We're going to check back in with Steven if we screw up some rules or we have some questions, and definitely at the end as well. But right now, we're going to go ahead and make him go bye-bye. So, bye, Steven. Okay. Y'all ready? This is a recap, episode 3. Last time around, we started with dinner, where there was this oil-flavored wine that passengers were spitting left and right and kind of caused a bit of a commotion. The captain sent First Mate Swenson down to inspect additional casks in the cargo hold. Sybil Wilde returned to her room because she was panicking because she had seen something weird in her tarot cards. Molly Cordes tried to get people to come listen to her sing. You all started investigating the ship because things were getting kind of weird and quiet, and everyone was sort of separating and going their different directions. Dora, you did return Cass to a suite. You've been on a lot of Cass duty lately. You've been really taking one from the team, or for the team. Or both of those actually make sense, I think. Petra, you spoke a little bit with Ruthie Bowen, who was drinking by herself in the bar. She was the one who was like lamenting how everybody else is lucky and she never finds anything, never strikes it rich. Lullaby, you served as the lone audience member for Molly Cordes, who just kept singing and singing and singing. I think at one point, a couple of you got the ire of First Mate Swenson when you tried to go into the hold, and he just like yelled, "Get the hell out! Get the hell out!" Richard Lewin Gallen was hiding in his cabin, didn't let anyone inside, including Lena, who was coming to check on him. He's getting like he was like, "Be careful! I don't trust anyone," etc. Eventually, in the quiet of the night, all of you, various spots on the ship, you heard a scream, this wailing coming from Sybil Wilde's quarters. Some of you raced, a few of you sauntered over to those quarters, and inside you discovered that her head had completely twisted around and was now facing backwards, just like the High Priestess card that she drew during Lullaby's reading the night or earlier that night. You also noticed that out her window, fire was on the river everywhere. And so 3 of you, Petra, Dora, and Lena, you all rushed away looking to warn the captain. Lullaby, you stayed behind and helped Sybil do this draw. Like, she did a card draw because she was feeling some strange like pull, like she was getting information, like the weird was like telling her something. And she drew Paradiso, Purgatorio, and Inferno, which is still makes me smile that it was long. That was the one for the Inferno draw.
Totally.
It was awesome. So she got like these visions, and in the Paradiso, remember, she saw those rolling hills, like this vineyard, but it was soiled by these 2 large stacks pumping smoke into air, and there was like a figure climbing up them. And she thought this was something from the past, and so she was like trying to conclude that maybe the weird had been tethered. Someone had tethered the weird to the ship, and you all were in dire peril. The second one was Purgatorio, which was like an old sailing vessel, like a pirate ship almost. And she had a vision within it of like a group of people pushing somebody else off the plank. And it was First Mate Swenson with all these chains wrapped around him. They were pushing him off the side. And then the last card, Inferno, was filled with this oily specter. She couldn't quite make out exactly who that specter was, but they were surrounded by blue flames. And after that, whenever you tried to draw additional cards, all you found was the Fool. And the Fool looks like somebody. Who's the Fool look like? Do y'all remember who the Fool looks like?
Yes, nope. Our escort.
Yeah, Cass Thamer. So it looks like it was a big, heavy set, like bloated version, and he had like all this fish in front of him. And meanwhile, the other 3 went up towards the wheelhouse to try to warn Captain Carrington. And when they opened the door, they saw that Carrington was a skeletal figure, and he had like a big old beard and fiery flames and stuff. So Dora hit him over the head with an axe, and his head went bouncing across the promenade and off the side of the ship. Rest of you, Lena, Petra, you managed to finish up the rest of the crew that also had turned into skeletons. At this point, Lullaby had hurried up, kind of told you a little bit about what was going on with Sybil's visions and about the smokestacks. So you all started climbing up to see if this was in fact a vision from the past, if somebody had climbed up there and done something. Is there something up there that you might be able to do to stop it? And so you climbed up, very treacherous, very, very slender plank between these 2 stacks, about 40 feet off the ground. And you found a spiral of this ritualistic set of words, looks like Latin, probably, or Italian. And you found this piece of canvas that started wafting upwards from the wind, and it came to a stop on the plank itself, and then somehow stood up. And when you looked at it, it was one of these absurdist paintings that are all over the ship, except it had transformed itself, just like it seems like Sybil had with the twisted head and Carrington into the skeleton, into this vile, hideous thing that looked nothing like the weird, almost comical, jokey looking painting it was before. And that's where he finished off. We good? We ready to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, I just realized I need dice. So, yes, I'm almost ready.
Okay. Well, I'll set the scene up a little bit then, because I can also while you're getting dice, Melissa, let me get a little music going. Let's do a little of that.
Yes, all of the dice.
And then
know, but
I get some handouts up so you can see what it is they're currently fighting. So it's this creature that you can see through the ribs. It's almost like a fish, like some weird absurdist fish, but it's got the sagging breasts. It's holding these organs, and you can see some of its intestines are just spilling out these bones for legs. All right. So as you guys you're here, you're standing where all of you are kind of huddled. It's very dangerous up here. You're huddled around, you look up, and you are seeing this painting. And you notice that the very subject of this painting begins to peel itself away from the canvas. The wind is coiling all this smoke around you, and you can see that you're extraordinarily high above the promenade. And right as you're watching this thing peel itself away from the canvas, you hear this thunderous crack just utterly rends the air to the point where you almost like shake and fall off. And you watch as the plank itself that you're standing on begins to rumble. And you watch behind the painting itself, you see this fissure snaking across the surface of the smokestack. You see a great iron plate just rupture, shatter, and fall loose from where the smokestack was standing. You see it crash down to the deck below. It takes out a railing, smashes against the promenade. You see all the wooden planks just shatter up into the sky. And then from that fissure that has just torn open, you see this hand begin to emerge, this massive hand. It's just sort of fumbling its way into the world. It's almost like a newborn chick after it's been hatched. And you can see it's like curling around and squeezes tightly against the metal, and it causes all this radiation of metal going in this way and that. And the sound of tearing iron just reverberates behind you as well. And when you turn, you can see the stack behind you. The exact same thing is happening as a massive rupture in the metal and a giant hand pulling and reaching out from that rupture and trying, it seems, to just like rip the iron plating free. The hands are again, they're enormous. They're bigger than you are as a person. They are charred. They're blackened skin. They look hideous. And it's at that moment, as you're like looking at these two things, as you're recuperating from the shake, that painting, now this living 3D thing, charges at you. So we're into combat. We're anteing up. Basically, we're not anteing up, but we're into combat. You're Mavericks. One of you goes first. Who wants to go first? This thing's charging at you.
I'll go first.
Good.
Ah, boy, Lullaby.
Mavericks, hell is visiting us. Steel yourselves. And I'll pull my tomahawk from the log upon my head.
Okay.
Black Swan. I'm going to chuck it across to the painting that's come to life.
Okay. So you pull this tomahawk out and you throw it. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, roll your check. So you're doing throwing weapons. So this is, I think, if I remember, I think this is quick plus your... actually,
Athletics.
throwing weapons is athletics. Yeah, throwing weapons is athletics. I was looking for it. Give it a
So
rip,
quick
Lullaby.
and athletics.
Think so.
All right. D10 and D8 for me.
Go for it, man.
Oh, an 11.
Okay, that's a hit. And so you all see as everything's shaking, moving around, and like you have to steady against each other. It's not like you have handrails to steady against. And so you're all almost kind of doing this surfing kind of motion, just keeping your balance. You reach back, throw the tomahawk. You see it plunge into the now kind of 3D form of this creature. And how much damage do you do with your tomahawk?
I've got a 5 base.
Okay. And so that's exactly what you do. And you see a little tear show down one of the sides of it. You can see like it's kind of almost where the armpit might be. And when you look, it does seem to be oozing out like proper matter. Like it looks like there's intestines coming around. Okay. There's nothing you want. Is there anything? A simple action, I guess you kind of pulled your weapon and everything. So we'll say, let's ante up then for you. Let's do it. Okay. In this case, since you're the one who attacked it first, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't go for you, but this is going to be a diamond. Okay. Lullaby, as you kind of step forward, maybe a touch so that you have a clean shot and the rest of your company is still right behind you. You slash it, but then it suddenly just goes flat to the ground. And it almost looks right now like that figure has become a decal on the plank itself, this flattened 2D decal. And you watch as it just slides down this plank, comes underneath your feet, and just lifts up behind you once more. And you see it kind of tries to cut through you. So this is going to be a reckon test. So give me a reckon save. Excuse me.
All right, my reckon is D8. My weird is D12.
Well, let me know how you do.
Rolled on 13.
13 is good. So this thing slides through. You can. So I always remember, you can spend aces, but not generate aces on saves, right? say a front. Okay, got it. All right, so this thing slides up. It tries to slash down at you, but you're able to just maneuver in such a way as its slash goes wide. All right, who goes next?
Petra will go.
All right. Petra, as you see this thing pop up, it's now kind of between you and Lullaby. As you can see, the four of you are scattered about. You hear the rumbling happen some more, and you see another one of these iron planks, these iron like patches on the smokestack just ruptures free, and the hands now are even more visible, and you can see pulling and pushing free. There's this scarred and charred face, and this giant eye that looks almost bloodshot because of the burn over top of it is trying to push itself free from the smokestack itself. The thing must be, whatever this is, 40, 50 feet. It's enormous. What would you like to do?
So she is going to spend a simple action to pull a big iron. In this case, her big iron is a bow. So she's going to kind of grab that off of her back, and then she is going to shoot it at that big old face, because that looks like it's going to screw us up.
Okay. Sure. So you shoot at the face. Okay. Give me your roll. So you said you said it was a bow you're using. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So long guns and trying to remember.
Grit, I believe.
Grit. Yeah. Grit.
Yeah.
For the pullback.
Nice. So that is a D6 and a D8. And I rolled a 3 and a 2.
Okay. So that's no good. That's a 5. That's a miss. And you don't. It doesn't. Looking at your table, you only have one ace, so you couldn't make it a success. So likely, I mean, if you think, what do you think makes you miss? Is it just the close confines of everybody on this and trying to get like the proper angle, or is it maybe some of the shattering metal that's coming down from the stack?
Yeah, like I would say she sort of like has a flair that she likes to do with this, but she's kind of like tucking her wings in a little bit because like other people are around, and that kind of like throws the whole showcase that she normally does off.
Okay. So the ante up now. Let's see what we're doing. 2 of clubs. Okay. So as this thing is, I'm going to say this is actually going to go at Lullaby again, because it's going to target an at-hand Maverick. And it's going to, as it's standing up behind you, Lullaby, and trying to slash at you, and you've been dodging it and moving it, we hear the wind of the arrow just slide past the two of you. This thing suddenly tries to do exactly to you what it just did to this plank, and effectively tries to like make itself 2D, kind of almost creating a tattoo on your body. So this is gonna be a grit save, Lullaby.
Okay, that's my worst stat.
Ah, right.
There we go. Oh, my D12 saved me. I got a 10 on it.
Okay, very nice. So this thing tries to essentially impress itself upon you, and it tries to sneak and slide around. You're kind of creating this body wrap of a tattoo, and you feel as it reaches back, you're able, maybe it's your own friendly spirits that you communicated with before helping you, but you're able to just pure force of will, just wrench it free like it's a piece of paper stuck to you, like this wet piece of paper. You just pull it free, and it does not, in fact, get its crush off. Okay. We've got Dora and Lena left to go. You can see that the smokestacks now, from everything from about 30 feet up, has almost fallen away. You can see that there is the skeletal remains of the structure that would keep some of those large sheets of iron and metal in place. And now that you can see it, they're both like 50-foot tall humanoids. They are humans, honestly, but they are covered, it looks like, in just these horrific these burns and like char. You can see their eyes themselves are wounded, but they're darting around in fear, maybe. You see their mouths have essentially been seared shut by some sort of horrific level of heat. and they're not swinging down at you at this point, even though their arms have come free. But you can definitely feel like they are trying to break free of something, but they seem at the same time sort of stuck. They're not actively swinging down at you, but just the sheer force of them moving about is certainly causing some ripple effects. Dora and Lena, which one of you would like to go?
Ash, do you mind if I go next? Because I was going to use part of my action to assist the next Maverick, and you're a big hitter, so I think
Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So I have fast reflexes, which gives me an extra simple attack, a simple action on my when I get into a scrape. So I'll use my first simple action to draw my weapon, my big iron. My complex action to fire my big iron, which is the repeater. Do you want me to roll that first?
Yeah, I mean, if you're rolling attack, go for it.
Okay. What do I roll for that?
So you, what kind of weapon is it? I'm sorry, you said it was your.
It is a repeater.
So it should be. Is it like a long range? Is it like a rifle?
Long guns with me.
So it'd be long guns. So it'd be long. Yeah. So it'd be long guns, and then I think, Steven, is it
Usually grit.
Grit? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Grit for long. Okay, because it's the pushback. I think it's the recoil that you're like protecting against with those.
So that's a D10 and a D12.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're good. You're good.
Petra's glaring at her bow that failed her.
Okay.
16 total.
Fantastic. So were you attacking the thing that's attacking Lullaby, or were you like following?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I should.
All right. Perfect. So 16. So you are above, well above. So you would basically be generating 3 aces with that. So what kind of damage?
Sweeten the pot because I'm already at 3. So can I use that 2 of them to sweeten the pot? To deal
Is there a particular effect you're looking to do? Let me double check to see if they have something.
I'm looking to deal a critical, which is 2 aces.
Okay.
Yep, 2 aces.
I think it's 2 aces for critical.
Yeah.
And so you can spend those 2,
for
bank
critical, and then I can just like save 1.
Yeah, that works, and that would put you at 4 total aces. Okay, and then so give me the total then damage that you're doing between base and then adding your critical.
9 total.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're a little quiet, Maitre. If you can check your Zoom, maybe you might want to.
Sorry.
No, you're all good.
Sorry. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a little better. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just didn't have my mic pulled as close as it usually is.
Okay, and so you did 9, and then Lullaby. Do you remember how much damage you did? I think I wrote it down.
Yeah, it was
wrong.
5.
5. Thank you. All right. Cool. This thing is still kicking. Metaphorically.
With my second action, can I second simple action? I'd like to assist the next Maverick, which is Dora.
So the only person hasn't gone right is Dora, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pull this back up. So basically, you're going to try to give Dora a raise on her skill check that whatever she does this turn. Makes perfect sense. Let's do that. Okay. So it's going to ante up first, though, before Dora gets to go. So let me go ahead. Oh, dear. It's a king of clubs. It's a face card. Steven knows. Steven knows why I'm excited. Okay. So this is the first time we've driven. I think this is the first time we've drawn a face card in our ante. So basically, quick, simple concept is that whenever you draw for ante to sort of describe the effect or the consequence that is affecting the Maverick, if you draw a face card, it just makes it worse. That's essentially it. Like, it makes it worse. So Ashley, it's for the good of the stream. I would like you to right now both roll and fail a grit test. Don't pass it.
Okay.
You definitely want to fail. It's way better. Think of the drama.
I'll try it.
So basically what's happening is, so I should probably explain what's happening. So this thing has now turned its attention, kind of sick and tired of trying to get Lullaby. You see it wafts over, it kind of goes 2D, slides between Lena and Petra, and now tries to wrap itself around Dora, who maybe one of the reasons you're going last is like maybe you've been a little bit even more kind of watching or dodging bits and pieces of the smokestack coming down. So maybe it's trying to take advantage of that. So go ahead and give that grit save a roll.
Okay, so my grit's a D12. My weird die is a D10.
Okay, roll bad. For the good of Adventures in Lollygagging.
I rolled bad. I rolled an 8.
I'm so proud of you. Ashley, you're the best. You're the best. Ashley's the best. So, as this thing wraps around you, you feel it squeeze and squeeze, but then it wrenches itself free, causing you to spin and spin, lose your balance, and fall.
Okay.
You're 40 feet up from the plank, and suddenly, as all of you are firing and shooting and hacking at this thing, Dora, you fall. You're falling 40 feet, and so fall rules in this game, basically, one of the things you can do when you're falling is you could roll a quick save. If you pass that quick save, it shortens the fall height by like 20 feet, and every 20 feet is essentially a different amount of damage or so, or a different type of injury you would take. So you're falling 40 feet. You can, as you're falling, try to maybe contort yourself or maybe bounce off the wall or something in a way that maybe lessens some of the impact as you smash down onto the promenade. So you can roll a quick save for that.
Yeah, I think she'd try that. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's free.
Quick weird or?
It's a save. So yeah. So quick plus weird.
Okay. So this is 2d10s.
Okay.
And I do pass 15.
Okay. So maybe what happens, maybe there's like a chunk of this smokestack that has already collapsed and like you hit it halfway down and it's almost like a slide bringing you the rest of the way. So it's not like a complete and total plummet to the earth. It's somewhat lessened by this angle.
Yeah.
You are still, however, so you're essentially taking the effect of a 20-foot fall now, which means a minor injury. So go ahead and take a minor injury. So what do you think that is? What do you think you hurt as you fall?
You know, I got a bruised tailbone, Jeff. I just landed right on it.
Did you bust your ass? Did you just break your ass?
I just busted my ass.
And so you are now on the promenade. There's all this debris coming down still. Most of the heavy stuff has already fallen. And when you look up, you can see that there are two 50-foot tall humans. They look to be, you don't think they're clothed, but at the same time, there's so much just scar tissue and burns and chars covering them. And they look vaguely familiar. Give me an education check really fast. And we won't count this as the assist that Lane is giving you. Just give me a quick education.
This is not my
reckon.
strong suit. So
It's okay.
education reckon, D66.
You can pass this one. You're allowed to pass this.
11.
Look
Thank
at you.
Jeff, for allowing
You're
me
doing
to
a great job. You're failing the right rolls and passing the right rolls. This is fantastic. When you look up at them, you recognize them. You've been moving around this ship for a couple days, and there's all sorts of this different imagery, paintings, and things like that. When you look up at them, despite their current seared look, like their mouths again are like the lips are seared shut, it seems like. It looks like the artistic representation, the way in which they've been depicted of like these poets, these old ancient kind of classic poets, Virgil and Dante. And you can see they're just both flanking there. Neither of them, again, they easily, if they wanted to, could just sweep down and crush your friends. But it seems more that they're just trying to wrench free. And you realize now that like their bodies, everything essentially from the legs downward is like, it is pinned. You see all these different shears of metal kind of pinning them to the ship. And they're kind of panically moving around. They don't seem to be initially aggressive towards you all. It's more just their panic. And it is now your turn. You are 40 feet down, which I realize is a little bit trickier now, but you're alive. What would you like to do?
Yeah. You know, I do have a long gun.
You can give it back to him?
Medium. This is a medium range. Never mind.
Thank you, Maitreya. Maitreya only lasted that. It was a pretty good joke, I thought.
Oh. Am I close enough for medium range to hit the painting guy or no? 40 feet. That's kind of
Trying to
far.
remember my range. Medium range is about 2 to 3 buildings or 30 yards. So if you fell 40 feet, that's within 30 yards. So I think you're okay with medium.
Okay, yeah. Then Dora Vix, she's rightly pissed off. Her ass hurts. She's had a tough day. So she's going to go ahead and she pulls out her lovely, lovely woman, Selma, who is her favorite musket, out off her back. And she's going to shoot this son of a bitch that tried to hurt Lullaby. She's indebted to him, and God forbid he dies before she pays him back.
Okay. Before you roll, Lena, what do you think you did to assist with Dora's shot? Like, how would you just, like, what is it that you helped her with? Especially now that you said she fell.
Ash, what did you say you were targeting?
I am targeting the painting that attempted to attack, knocked me down, and attempted to smother Lullaby.
I'm trying to pull Lullaby out of the way. Since she's a clear shot.
Make the shot clear and easier. Yeah, perfect. Love it. So you grab Lullaby, you kind of pull him to one side, which essentially leaves the creature a little bit more open for a shot now.
Okay.
All right, Dora.
I'm gonna rip
So
it.
raise your lower die.
Okay, cool. So my long guns is a D8. That's gonna go up to a D10.
Look at you. Okay.
Gosh, dang it. 9, and I don't have
Did you
any
fail?
aces. I did.
Oh dear.
So I imagine Dora didn't fully get into a proper position to shoot, and her lovely, lovely musket Selma, the kickback just was a bit too much, and she lost her footing again on this piece of sheet metal that she's on, and so she shoots, and the back whatever of it hits her too hard in her shoulder, and she slips right, and she's right back on her back just looking up at you guys.
Okay. And you just see these two giant, literally giants that are kind of almost reaching out at one another, over top of your friends who are fighting on this plank. Let me go ahead and do.
I'm really sorry to interrupt. Are rerolls a thing for attacks or just out of combat?
It looks like for anything, if you want to lower your weird die. You can get a
your
reroll.
weird die. Okay. Yeah, if you wanted to.
Do I want to lower my weird die?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to complicate things.
No, that's good. Call it out.
Well,
No, good to know.
yeah. Let's do it for the stream. I'm gonna lower my weird die to a D8, and now I'm gonna reroll.
Normally, this would be
Okay.
decrease a weird die to reroll your dice before spending aces and hearing outcome, but that's fine. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna do again a D12, D10. Maybe
Yeah,
if I
so
don't
much
look
better.
at it, maybe that's the
Yeah,
problem.
So much better. 16. You generate 3 aces.
Oh, yes.
Dora, could you explain to me and describe for everybody how you shoot this thing and kill this thing from below?
So it's kind of exactly that. It's Lena pulls Lullaby away, and Dora, she just squints down her sights, and she gives a little chuff of a laugh as she finally aligns with this goddamn painting's forehead, and then she just pulls the trigger, and I knew those damn paintings were weird.
And those of you who are up there, you can see this thing has kind of been moving back and forth between 2D, 3D, 2D, 3D. And right as it's 3D, you see just this explosion of gore from below. As the shot comes up, you look down, and there's Dora, gun aimed, and this thing falls off to the side this way and that. In some cases, it's falling in 3D pieces, like the chunks of the intestines falling. In other cases, you see parts of it just turn into almost like confetti, wafting around in the air. Now, 2 things. One, there is this spiral of words, and Lullaby, you would know since you were the one that you were spending time with Sybil. She was saying that effectively there was something was happening. It's someone created a ritual, someone scribbled something in. You even heard at one point these words in the back of behind you at one point, whispered in sort of the darkness of the ship, and here they are and written out maybe a day ago or so, and that they have power of some kind. So that's thing number 1. So figure out what you want to do about that. Second thing, how are you getting down? When you climbed up, these were not living smokestacks. They were inert smokestacks. They are now living. They are sleek with like sweat and grime, and you can even see some hardened char here and there. So the three of you that are still up there have to figure out a way down. So those are the two tasks in front of you. What do you think y'all are doing?
This spiral ritual that's painted on the side, I want to deface it or reimagine it by like using the gore and blood that's been spilled around and kind of forming it into like a totem symbol or like a spirit, a guardian symbol.
Okay.
Just like make it not what it currently is.
So you just kind of get on your hands and knees, use the blood and gore from this thing that just got exploded by Dora, that just smear it around. And what is like this totem, this image that you create from it look like?
More animalistic. It's got some ears and feathers. It's becoming more of like a guardian spirit, spiritual image.
And there's a moment where the rumbling of this plank begins to settle a little bit. You see as these two giants next to you are almost calming finally, like they've almost come to terms with their fate. And you get this sort of tinkle, this little like raised hairs in the back of your neck that maybe it's the spirits kind of like reaching down and like letting you know that you've done right. But you still have to get down. You can go the way Dora went. You can just hop. If you guys want to fall, we can do that. That'll get you down for sure. Or if you have another way down.
So I was wondering, up here, are there any life-preserving devices with some rope attached to them, perhaps?
I would imagine so. Yeah, I'm sure you could probably find something like that.
Yeah, Dora wants to try and launch it up there and like loop it at the top.
Okay.
So that they could maybe
see if there's wrap a rope around it.
I want to try
I love it.
and wrangle this.
I think that sounds amazing. Yes. So wrangle is animal handling, but this is hilarious because it's basically like a lasso. So absolutely do this. Grit probably because you have to throw it a long way. I think.
Yeah.
Is that
throw
cool?
it as hard as I can.
All right, do it.
Okay.
She tries to lasso the plank. She tugs too hard and breaks the plank. All of you go falling, get impaled on all this sheet metal. And that's how we end the session.
Hey, Dora would be alive.
Buddy.
You know? All right, so I'm rolling a d12, d8.
D12 and D8. Awesome.
Ooh, that's an ace.
Okay.
But I'm going to spend one of the 3 aces that I got to pass.
All right. So what I'll say is if you all want to use this thing to try to climb down, I'll say take a raise it. So normally I would probably say like an athletics test to climb down. But I'll say you can still do that, but we'll say with a raise. So anyone who tries to climb down because of this rope, it's still very fraught with peril because the plank, like the things that it's anchored to, like they have been ripped apart as these creatures, these giants have wrenched free from the stacks. So not everything is in great condition, but I'll still say athletics, raise it for anyone who wants to go down. Who's going first?
I'll go.
What?
Quick,
Probably.
I think, for climb. Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say quick, but we could do. I mean, I'm fine with either. It all depends on how. To me, like if you flavor the way you're. That's not a good image to make. How'd you do?
I got a 6, 4 and a 2.
Okay, so what I'll say is as you're moving, at some point there's a bit of a commotion by one of the stacks as another one of these sheets kind of collapses and falls maybe from the neck, and it kind of clips you as you're coming down. I'll say though, because the rope was here, you don't fall the full 40, you fall 20. And so you can roll a quick save, and if you pass a quick save, that would avoid the injury essentially.
So I have my frog legs, and I treat falling injuries as if I fell 40 feet less.
Okay.
So
describe how this fall doesn't actually impact you for the first time in Melissa's history as a tabletop role player. She survived.
You land on Ashley and break her ass even more.
I would say for sure she what I'll say is that she was kind of trying to use her arms, and she's not the strong, like she's kind of athletic, but not necessarily the strongest. And so like at the very last minute, she decides to like wrap her legs around the rope, and that kind of like slows her momentum down a little bit as she's getting there. So she might sort of kick Dora in the head as she's like coming down, but she
But don't worry, I'll
like,
catch you,
slows her
darling.
descent a
You're
bit.
good.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
So you fall.
And she also has a twisted ankle, so as she's down, she's like, ow, ow.
Okay. You manage to contort yourself. You manage to avoid damage. Then there's Lena or Lullaby. And again, grid athletics, I think makes sense. If you really wanted to use quick, I'll take a, because it is a little bit about like how fast you're moving too. So I would take either, but it's up to you.
If you're okay with grid, I'll do grid because that's hard
course.
for me.
Yeah, I think both could make a case for it.
I got a 5, but I'm happy to spend my fucking aces.
Yeah, you've got a lot of aces. You want to burn 3
Yeah.
aces to pass that? Okay, so you burn 3
Please.
aces, and you manage to, as you're moving past, you could see like this coil of smoke. It almost seems lifelike in some way, kind of wrap around Lena for a moment, but you're able to just, instead of climbing, maybe you just like loosen up and you just slide down at this point, and you're Dora and
yes.
Petro there ready for you. And then Lullaby. What about you, man?
Got an 11 on my roll, so I'm retrieving my black swan and sliding down the rope.
Grab the black swan, you wrench it free, a little bit of blood left, a little bit of canvas in that blood, and then you start to climb down. Okay, so all of you now at this point are on the promenade once more. The promenade has suffered significant damage. As you can see, the smokestacks, the metal from the smokestack has ruptured, and much of it has hit the promenade. Some of it has hit the railing. Some of it has probably fallen over into water. You can even see maybe a piece or two has like hit the paddle itself, and some of the blades look a little bit torn up. And you know that the ship is currently without direction, but you also know a few other things. You know that Cass was in the Fool. You know that like there's no one to pilot the vessel, and it's still crazy things that are happening. You can hear the sounds from the below of like the faint sounds of someone singing, kind of wafting up. But otherwise, it's a kind of an eerie feeling, and the only thing is like this grumble of these two giants that seem to be kind of tugging at each other a little bit up top. What is your plan? What do you guys want to do?
The card speaker spoke truth. The stacks were danger. We must find Swenson and check on our fool.
Let's go get Swenson so he can drive the ship. He's the only one who is the owner of the birds probably who can.
You know what we should also probably do? Cut up all those paintings before they come alive and animate again, so then we have to fight more of them.
That is certainly an option, but I do think time is probably of the essence to make sure our fool has not gorged himself. Lullaby is correct.
Okay. So where do you all head? You tell me. So just a reminder, we're on technically deck 4, Promenade and Wheelhouse. Deck 3 are all the cabins. Deck 2 is like kitchen, dining hall, theater, bar. Deck 1 was like cargo hold and boiler room and like the loading area where the ramp goes up and you guys kind of got on and off. It's kind of the basic layout. Where do you all go?
Do we have any inkling? So I remember there was a description of Swenson getting marched down a plank, sort of threateningly. Do we know where on the ship that took place?
So assuming Lullaby conveys everything he got from the reading, is that fair, Long, with Lullaby?
Yeah, I don't hide anything.
Yeah. You would know that the actual draw was of like a pirate ship. Like it was like an old sailing vessel. It wasn't a paddle steamer. But he was essentially wrapped in chains and being thrown overboard, basically. That's what she saw anyway. Lullaby didn't see that. That's what she saw and described to him.
Right. Not on the ship though.
You're unaware of a plank like that.
Let us first check on our plump man. So I'll head there.
Okay.
Yeah, Dora though, she's gonna break off and go to the she's gonna steer the boat. Basically, she's gonna try to make sure we don't crash and die.
Do you know how to steer a paddle steamer?
No.
Okay, so I would say two things. First of all, the entire boat is surrounded by these walls of fire. Both and it's like you're literally traveling in this pocket of fire. You don't even can't even see the sides of the plank anymore. I would say if you go into the wheelhouse, like there's all sorts of tools and there's all sorts of like little bits of equipment that without like particular knowledge of it, you would probably be guessing. Like we can roll a check, like we could do like an education reckon check, but I would probably bust it since you have no real experience.
She might walk in then and see that and then quickly become overwhelmed. Wasn't there a bell like right outside the wheelhouse?
Yeah.
She's gonna ring that to see if that'll get Swenson to come up
to
the wheelhouse.
You ring it. It's somehow still intact despite the falling debris. There's no immediate reaction that you can tell. Like you don't see anyone scrambling out from underneath any of the debris. It has a hollow sound to it, but it's so like you would, other than like these giants that seem to be still doing some weird kind of reaching out to one another. It's fairly quiet, and so it does carry. It's just a question of how long you wanted to wait.
Linda's gonna yell Swenson while Dora's ringing the bell.
While what?
She's yelling for Swenson while Dora is ringing the bell.
Okay.
I don't know how long Dora would actually. I think she would just ring the bell at that point, and like she's prepared if we crash that she's gonna have to try and swim, which she can't do. And,
why did you get out a boat? Crazy.
You know what? Dora's crazy. And I think she's gonna go and attempt to look and do the other things we plan to do.
Okay, so we'll say Lullaby, you said you were running down to check on Cass. Dora, you ran over to the wheelhouse and rang the bell. Lena, maybe you hung back and were shouting with Dora. Petra, what about you? Where did you
with Lullaby?
Okay, so right now two of you are up on the promenade right now, kind of making noise. Petra and Lullaby, you come down the stair. You come down into the cabins, and you can tell that there are some empty places on the walls where paintings used to be, and you currently don't see them. Secondly, you notice, you notice first of like when you come down that Petra, you know that D. Dillard Dubbs's his cabin was like one of the first, like to the right when you came down the starboard stair, right? And you can see that it's wide open. And then you can tell that there's like some splotches a bit of like blood in the ground. You hear the sounds of some muffled voices here and there, or some other dull throbbing, or that's not the right word. There's this sort of here and there throughout the cabin area, but otherwise you don't see anyone like in the halls. If you make a beeline for the presidential suite, you certainly can, and you can see that as far as you can tell, the door is intact. Like if you look maybe to your left towards the front of the ship, you can see as it curves around, it doesn't look like there's anything's been particularly disturbed. And that's what the two of you see as you come down. And you still hear the sounds of that singing, that voice coming from below. So it doesn't seem to be from this deck. It seems to be from the deck below.
I'll head straight to the suites and try to enter.
Okay. What about you, Petra? You following?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So when you get up to the door, Dora, did you lock the door? Do you remember?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You realize it's locked. Either one of you could make like a grit test to try to smash it open, but it currently right now feels locked. You can also try to knock and see if he would respond, but it does seem locked.
Yeah, just a couple of bangs. Lumpman, are you in there?
You don't hear a response, but you hear coming through the door.
Petra, open this.
And so Petra will throw her shoulder into the door.
Just making her do it. Give me an athletics grit as you try to bust the door down.
Okay. All right. So that is a D8 and a D8.
What I'll say with this
Don't
is
have
that
anything.
if you succeed, you can do it without hurting yourself. If you fail, you take a minor injury and still succeed. Dislocate your shoulder, something like that.
Oh goodness. Let's check where I'm at with aces. Okay,
one.
so yeah, I rolled an 8, so I will spend the one ace that I currently have to succeed.
You bust the door down. It flies open, sweeps off to the side. You hear it rattle, and the two of you enter into the suite, and it looks different than when you were last here. You can see that Cass has his stomach has bloated and swollen so much that it has wrenched free from his clothes. Like his clothes have ripped. The shirt, the buttons have wrenched free. The jacket he was wearing, you can see, it almost looks like a child's jacket on a grown large man as it's kind of pinning his arms back a bit. And you see a big rotund belly, far bigger than you ever remember seeing it for him, and almost comically large. And as you're watching, you notice that underneath the stomach, underneath the skin, you can see things moving about. All around him are these empty cans of caviar.
Oh god,
He's
I
like,
didn't want to be right about that.
How dare you break down my door? You're all fired! As he screams at you, and you can see like chunks of caviar in his teeth. What would you like to do?
I'm sorry, I think this is the wrong room.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Do you leave? Just turn
Yeah,
around. Shut
I'm
okay.
turned around.
Petrus is sort of like looking as he just walks away.
All right, Petra.
She wants to try to do something. Like, she's a sawbone, so like she wants to see what she could possibly do with this. If this is sort of a like make him throw up kind of a thing, or if this is just
Right.
going to be like a
So
just
no roll necessary. I think just your background here would probably conclude that this isn't a case of, it's not just a case of him overeating. Like, you realize as you look down at one of these maybe not completely cleaned out cans of caviar, that the caviar itself, it's almost like the eggs have hatched, and you can see writhing in them are these small, slender fish, white fish. And you realize, Petra, as you look at them, one of them was in your mouth a couple hours ago when you were testing food. And it looks as though all these different, he has completely eaten a dozen different cans of caviar here. And so it's not a case of him necessarily eating too much, but he's eaten stuff, and then whatever's going on in his body, like, and anytime you get close to him, like, he's just like, and he's swinging out at you. It's not landing. Like, he does maybe make contact with you here and there, but it's not like it's going to hurt you. But he's just like screaming at you. He's just like, "Oh, call for security!" as he's constantly just like shouting at you. You, I would say, are not sure what medically you can do for him, but that's what you see.
Oh, and she sort of like looks at the door that Lullaby went through, and she's like, yeah, like, I don't know that there's anything that I'm going to be able to like do with him necessarily. I think she would I want to try. I want to see if I can try to get him to like ingest something that would make him just like throw all of it up and just like relieve his stomach that way of just like getting everything out of it.
Okay. We'll presume you have something in one of your packages. Anytime you get anywhere close to his mouth, though, like one of these big hands, and you can tell like the fingers and such are swollen too, but the biggest issue is obviously his stomach. Just comes out and just tries to swat at whatever you're giving him. So you see like a capsule or a piece of, a little bit of powder, whatever it might be, just kind of goes scattering across, and he grabs her hand, he pulls you close, and he spits into your face with like these flecks of caviar and the residue of wrenched white fish between his teeth. And he's just, "You're fired! Get out of here!" As he's right in your face. And his breath is so immensely foul. So every time you try to help him, he just pushes you back, insults you, insults your family, insults all, he fires you over and over.
It fires me for the 50,000th time.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's just going to sort of just look at him and just, just kind of shrug, like she tried to kind of help him and he's not taking it. So she's kind of thinking that like, okay, there's something else that maybe like once we take care of the other thing that's affecting everything, then that will kind of like fix the things that are happening. So she'll relocate herself and see if she can catch up with everybody else.
Okay. We'll go back to Dora and Lena. You wait for a couple beats, a minute or two. No one comes to your calls. No one comes to your bell. Not Swenson, not any other crew. No one. You're the only ones up here now. As Lullaby and Petra have left. What the two of you do at this point?
Dora, the last time I saw Swenson, he was in the cargo hold.
All right, yeah. Let's see if maybe he got held up down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he had.
You start moving down the stairs. Lullaby, would you have just like left and gone somewhere else? Like, would you run into them, or would you have gone and done something different?
I would have looked for Swanson as well, so if I run into them, then I run into them.
I'm fine with saying that the three of you bump into each other at the stairs. And again, for Dora and Lena, I'll describe the same thing. You can see that D. Diller Dubs, his room the door is wide open. You hear the sounds of some thumping and here and there down the hall a bit, like a door or two nearby. You think it might be coming from Richard's room, Lena, but you're not sure. And last you saw Petra, she was in with Cass. So, and she hung back for a few minutes. So we'll say the three of you are here. You hear the song, the singing from one deck below. Do you race down to the first deck, or do you do something else?
Dora. Hey, so the lady with the cards. Should we? Her head's backwards. She did that weird stuff with her cards. You think we should check on her?
No, she showed me all she had. Only the fools. Must be her favorite card.
But we did the thing with the stack, so maybe it's different now?
You wish to go there.
You two go find her, and then we'll go stick our head in detail Dubs' room, regardless of what they're doing.
I mean, Dora will go alone, but that's who she's gonna pop in on her and check her out.
Then I will find Swanson.
Okay, we'll meet you. Where are you going to find him? Down on the first floor?
Down to the cargo. That's where I last saw.
We'll meet you. I'll meet you down there once I speak with her. All right.
Same.
Lullaby races down the stairs. Dora, you go over to Sybil's room, which is fairly close to the presidential suite. We'll say first. I think she had a first-class cabin on the exterior. Mm-hmm. You find her. She's still there, and you can hear the weeping of the wailing of her. You can tell that she's sitting on her bed, you can tell that her tarot cards are scattered about on the floor. And as you come in, you can see that nearly every single card is a picture of the Fool. And there's 3 others, Paradiso, Purgatorio, and Inferno, that are on the ground as well. But she's just sitting there on her bed, even though she's got the cards scattered about. Some of them are on the bed, some of them are on the floor, and she's kind of looking off into the wall. But you can tell that she is distraught, but otherwise safe. What would you like to do? Can't hear you there, Ashley.
When she looks down at the cards and she realizes that almost all of them are Joker cards, because like that was her thought, was like, or Fool, excuse me. She's just, okay, maybe this isn't. Sybil, I just came to check on you, but it does look like your head's still on backwards, so we're not quite done yet.
Whatever you all did, I don't see the same. And she picks up the Paradiso card. I don't see. You changed something. And she's holding up the first of the 3 cards, the one that Lullaby said she saw the stacks in, and saw someone climbing up it, and saw someone making some kind of mark. And she's like, it's clean again. It's free from whatever corruption. But these other 2, and she holds them back awkwardly. She's still trying to adapt to her new form.
And Dora helps her as best as she can.
Mr. Swenson, I think he might be in danger. I think that's what this means. I think, and whatever, this is what's behind it. And she holds up Inferno, and like you see kind of like a generic like devilscape, like a hellscape fire, etc. And she's like, blue flame, an oily shadow, a specter. This is whoever. I can't see their face, though. I can't see their face. Whatever you're doing, though, keep at it. And she's just like kind of holding up at it. I'll keep looking. If I hear anything, I'll shout.
Okay. We're gonna go try and find Swenson. Okay.
Okay. Is Lullaby all right?
Yeah. He's down looking for Swenson.
You left him alone?
Not for
this
long.
This is not a safe vessel anymore. None of y'all should be on your own. Not unless you're behind a locked door.
Lullaby is very strong, and I promise I'll do my best. All right, you come. I'm gonna lock this door. Okay.
Okay. And yeah, you do. You step out. You lock the door. I'll say at this point, Petra, are you coming out of the presidential suite?
Yeah.
Did you close the door and you're just like, screw it, like I can't help him, you won't let me help him? Or did you want to do anything else?
I mean, she would lock the door on her way out. Like, there's no reason why she wouldn't.
Come back in. Do your best. That we kind of burst it open. You do your best to kind of wedge it shut. The lock is probably not perfect, but you do your best. And then we'll say that you two bump into each other. Lena, you said you wanted to peek into D. Dillard Dove's room. And I'm pretty sure, Petra, did you like debrief everybody on the encounter you had with him?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll say that.
So, Lena, you notice that there are some specks of blood here and there on the ground. You notice there's like a food tray, like from the kitchens. Like, you know that one of the services the kitchen was offering, like, you know, snacks and late night snacks and stuff. And you can see, and sometimes it's delivered to rooms and things. And you can see that he's got one of these, and there's like streaks of blood here and there on the ground. He is not in here though. And the rusted up butcher knives and tools and such that Petra had described are not here either.
Okay. She'll exit the room then. Get kind of confused.
Okay. So you step out. Lullaby, you get down to the second deck. You hear two things coming from down the hall towards the kind of the kitchen area and everything. in the theater and the dining hall, you hear you hear two very distinct sounds. You hear like the strained and breathless voice of Molly Cordes, the same woman who just maybe 2 hours ago was singing to you, and she's still singing, but in sounds even more breathless and strained. And then you periodically hear a tink, tink, tink. And you also notice when you're looking at the floor, there's streaks of blood that seem to be there's driplets, there's droppings here and there on the stairs themselves. The landing is a little bit more saturated, and then the streaks seem to be pulled into the hallway in the direction of the dining hall and such, where everything is. But this is only deck 1. This is only deck 2. So, but this is what you see as you reach the landing. What do you want to do?
Snatch onto the blood trail and start tracking it.
Okay. So you track it, and you realize it takes you to the dining hall specifically. And it's not like this long singular streak, but you see patches of it as you go. You notice when you move into the dining hall itself that some of the tables now have been dislodged. You can see like they were bolted down, but now they're like dislodged and broken, like there was some kind of scuffle. Some of the chairs as well. You can see the door that goes into the kitchen has been wrenched from its position, and so like you can't quite see perfectly into the kitchen, but you can see the kitchen door itself has suffered damage and is hanging off its hinges, and that seems to be where the blood trail is going.
Is anyone in here?
You don't hear anything back. Like in response to it, but as you like stop and take a breath and you listen for a response, you still hear further down the hall where the bar and the theater are, seems to be where that tink and where the singing is coming from. But you can tell coming out of the kitchen, you hear blood stains on the blade. 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 Over and over, just like in rapid succession.
I'll make my way to the kitchen.
When you peek into the kitchen, you kind of push past the ripped door. You notice that there is D. Dillard Dubs, the man that Petra has been speaking with from time to time. And he has, on the ground in the kitchen, there is blood everywhere. There is viscera everywhere. And you can see he himself is coated in blood. He's got a butcher's apron on, but you can barely tell what color it is because it's coated in blood. And then you can see hanging from hooks in the ceiling, as if this is very much a butcher's shop. You can see the Irish cook who very frequently bumped heads with Petra hanging there in this butchered state, like you can see flayed free, and several other members of the kitchen cook staff as well. And you can see he has sprawled on one of the counters of the kitchen another one of the cook staff itself. And you can see he is kind of, blood stays on the blade. Blood stays on the blade. And he just wrenches it, and there's like a spurt.
Hoping to step back before he notices me.
Okay. You step back. He doesn't seem to notice you. He seems enthralled with his work.
As long as Swenson wasn't in there, I'll go and leave.
As far as you could tell, you did not see him in the brief glance when you looked up at the hook. It just looked like folks who worked in the kitchen or was delivering food. So it was people like kitchen staff or waiters, waitresses, servers, things like that.
And then I'll make my way towards the sounds I was hearing.
Okay, so you step back out of the kitchen slowly. This is twice now you've done that same, whoop, nope, and you just backed on out slowly. Okay, we'll cut back. We'll say, for the sake of ease, Lena, by the time you step out of Dubs's room, Petra and Dora, you're coming around the corner, and the three of you now meet essentially where first class cabins and second class cabins intersect, and where there's like the starboard stairs that would go down, and all three of you are together at this point. What would you like to do?
Dubs isn't in his room, his tools are missing too.
Okay.
I went and checked on Mr. Thamer, and all of trying to use a rational brain on this, it would appear that all of the caviar that he ate has turned into fish. He is quite rotund, and I tried to help him, try to give him something to lose that, see if he could throw that up, and he was a bit argumentative. So I do believe we need to figure out what the hell is going on around here and get it to stop.
How do you throw up whole fish?
I don't know. It was the best thought that I had.
Fish?
I would have gutted him like a fish, but then again, how do we get paid?
That was my point. He does feel quite uncomfortable, but you know, he wasn't exactly a ray of sunshine before this happened, and he is no better.
You know, he's corporate. As he always told me. I spoke to Sybil. She said that we did something to help. So whatever Lullaby did up there, that was good. But we still need to find him. She said don't leave Lullaby alone. And she said there's still like a person of darkness with blue flames, and she can't see their face. And we need to try and figure that out.
I thought I heard
Sooner than
something
later,
coming down
'cause-
from Richard's room down the hall, so maybe we should check that before we head down to the girl room.
I did also notice that there were more paintings that were missing, and if we fought one of the paintings, that could have also been something that was helping. So maybe we can try to figure out where the rest of them got to. Maybe we need to take them out.
There's a lot to do, and executive decision making is not my favorite task. So why don't we find Lullaby, and see where we can go? What do y'all think?
Lena, you mentioned you heard noises coming from Richard's room?
If there's a presence of darkness, we should probably go check. Make sure that's not the issue.
Lena, are you sure that's the problem, or it's just you want his goddamn gun? I've traveled with you long enough that I'm aware how your mind thinks.
It's just three doors down.
I can want two things at the same
Three
time.
doors.
I am a smart person, and I'm capable of wanting two things at the same time.
Well, we could check just in case he is the person of darkness. But if he shoots you, that's your problem.
If he shoots me, then I will feel less bad about taking me, but we should go check on him, just to, you know.
Petra rubs the shoulder that she kind of like, you know, shoulders her way into Thamer's room, and so she's point me to the door.
Okay, so if you want to go check on Richard, it's just a couple doors down. And as you stand just outside, you hear like a thud or a thump or two, but otherwise it's very quiet. It's like if you put your ear to the door. It is still locked, Lena, unfortunately, but there's ways of getting around that.
Yep. So she shoulders her way into the door.
I think maybe we should see if Dora might be able to do a little better than you, Petra. No offense.
No, I find it cute. I think she should go right on ahead.
Is someone trying to bust it down? Is that what we're trying to do? Same things
yeah.
before. Athletics grit. Whoever's doing it, give me an athletics grit. As long as you pass, you don't take a damage from smashing into it. If you fail, we'll say you take a minor damage, like dislocated shoulder or something like that.
Dora can do it.
All right, go right ahead.
Yeah. Maybe not. 7.
Okay. So,
Can I say that in?
Yeah, I mean, you're still going to knock it open. It's just like it hurts really bad as you do it. So you can take a minor injury in the process of busting it open.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So Dora already hurt her tailbone, right? So she goes to like rapidly lift up her leg to kick it, and like that just so happened to like just twinge just enough that it caused her to kind of fall forward, and she actually smashes her forehead against the door. And that's what opens it. And so now she's got like maybe a minor concussion.
as the door busts open, you hear the sound of like a gear or something, and then a switch, and then a gunshot rings out. Dora, go ahead and make a quick save for me. As on the opposite side of the room,
Lena, if I die, this is your fault.
his gun is affixed on like a small shelf, and he seems to have rigged some kind of wiring around that automatically fired whoever came into the door first, which is Dora. Go ahead, quick save.
You talked yourself into getting shot.
Being on a boat while you die, does that count as us continuing to not be good at vehicles?
18.
Yeah, 18.
I'll tell you what. Spend 2 aces to sweeten the pot, because normally it was going to be a quick save for just a minor injury, but that's such a good roll. If you sweeten the pot with 2 aces, I'll say you don't take an injury at all. You manage to duck out of the way, or you stumble down. Yeah. Okay. And so this thing goes off.
What a roll.
You fall to the ground, and then Lena and Petra, both of you get hit. But no, you watch as the gun, as like behind you, the wall behind you erupts as splinters as a bullet has hit it. Inside, you don't see him though. Like, he's not waiting around. He created some weird contraption with all sorts of doohickeys and gears and such. And you notice that on the ground, strewn about the room, are his things. You can see his clothes, some of the stuff you've probably seen him wear in the last day or so. And it looks like, basically, it almost looks like his belongings have been dumped out. But you do see in the middle of the room, it's his travel case. It's like maybe, like a 3x3x4 kind of trunk. But you don't see him. But you do notice that there is some blood on the lock of the travel case, and you realize that the travel case lock does seem to be a little non-standard. Like, it looks like it's not a default. Like, he's maybe made a little bit up, a little more difficult. But as you're watching, you guys see it rattle a little bit.
My reflex is gonna go over and try and open it, but I don't know that I have anything to open it with except like try and smash it open with the butt of my gun.
You can skullduggery it if you've got something that you want to. Don't forget you have kits as well. I know we haven't used a kit in a while.
I already used my kit for this session.
You stole that guy's knife, though.
I don't have that with me.
You might. I think because the number of kits you have access to, as I think, if I recall correctly, is dependent on your wealth. So you might have more than one kit available to you if you check your character sheet.
I have multiple kits, but I thought you could only use one. Though you can only use one per session.
I think it's per scenario, like that you check them off basically. So like once you use a kit, like that kit slot has been used.
Gotcha.
I
so
see.
Does that make sense?
I see. Thank you.
Yeah, Steven's saying you're right, but my tray's her character.
My tray is 4. Okay, good. So she only has the one kit slot. Okay, that's fine.
Correct.
But
you can use my knife.
I also have a knife in my caboodle. I don't know if that is usable.
No, it's fine. I'm fine with you. You can use a knife. Just you can use it to try to pry it open. I'll still take skullduggery for it because it's more about trying to jam the thing in there. You're not really carrying.
Half a second, because I think I might have a thing for skullduggery. Oh no, that's for stealing shit, not for. I don't know. Is breaking into somewhere considered stealing shit?
You can use it. That's fine. You can use it.
Then my check is raised.
Okay, give it a roll.
So that's skullduggery, and what did you quick or grit?
I would say quick because it's more about precise placement than it is about pure force. In this case, the door was more about force.
Oh, sorry, I rolled that by accident.
No, it's okay. So what are you rolling? What's your dice pool?
I'm rolling a d10 and another d10, so that's an 11 total. Okay,
and you manage to pop the lock eventually, and it flies open, and you're able to push the trunk open. And when you look inside, there's some splotches of blood, and you see inside is a suitcase, a second suitcase. And it's a carry suitcase, the type of thing that a person might carry on a, and it's a little bit swollen and it's covered in flecks of blood. And Lena, as you're watching it, it's periodically moving, like it's shifting, and you hear.
Oh, right. Is Richard in there?
Oh, she's gonna pull out her gun before she opens it, but she is gonna open it. But
Okay.
have her gun trained on it.
When you open it up, you do see that Richard is very much inside. His bones are kind of broken in many places. His arms, his legs, all of them have been sort of folded and contorted into such a way that he would fit within this carry case. He looks at you, and his face is extraordinarily pained, but it does look like he takes like a big breath of air, but his face is just in this immense pain. But you would imagine he's got on each of his limbs probably 2 fractures apiece.
Who did this to you?
Can't trust anyone. They're gonna steal things from me.
And he got like wild eyes.
You did this to yourself? You got in your case?
Yeah, to protect myself. They're gonna steal everything. Can't trust anyone.
Okay. Well,
You
this-
want us to close the lid and just leave you here?
Lena's gonna look at Petra like, can you do something for him? Or should I just put him out of his misery?
No, this is workable. I just wanted to make sure. I mean, if he put himself here and he's so concerned about his belongings, we could just close the lid and just leave him here. Or would you like me to pull you out and try to help you? And she kind of looks to Richard like, would you like some assistance?
He is a little bit like Kaz, and then he's kind of, you could tell, is like raving, like and kind of calling you thieves, maybe. Like he keeps saying it.
It's totally very wrong.
you know, I don't.
We
think
can dump him. We can dump him on the bed, and I can
No,
do the
That's
rest.
what I was thinking. Is let's mom in bed and just leave him there. It's not like he can leave. And she kind of gestures to his fractured legs.
We should just leave him. I'm worried about Lullaby.
Okay, let's go. Lena is going to do a cursory look around for the gun.
Oh, it's right there. It shot Dora. It was the thing that was
the gun
affixed.
that
Yeah.
shot her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to grab it?
Yes, but I'm gonna. Okay. I'm gonna close the suitcase so he can't see
So he
me.
can't see you.
And then
worst.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. All right. So let me get you the stats on it. 1 second.
It looks like it is on the sheet, according to chat.
It is. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So
Oh my
you
God.
can, Lena, if you're grabbing it, take it. So for the audience, this is a big iron. It's called the Lionheart. It is a revolver crafted by a master gunsmith, of which Richard seems to be. It's got a gold lion's head. It's engraved in an ivory hilt. And one of the effects is when a maverick holding this big iron takes the yellow ailment, they decrease the die size 1 step. The damage is 6 for base and 3 for crit, and it deals obviously lead poisoning. And it's got a couple of equip mods: custom hilt, lever action, reliable, and lion share. The mod lion share is the one that's kind of specific, and that one it increases basically ammo and a couple other looks like it's just ammo increase.
Oh, it's so cool. And it may not be the one that's on the cover of the game.
I think I actually have the art. Let me bring the art up so that the people on the stream can see. There it is. You can see the
It's
hilt
so
and stuff.
fucking cool. It's so cool.
Okay.
It is.
So while Lena is stealing this gun, finally, at long last,
Yes.
let's cut back to Lullaby, who has been on a solo mission on the second deck. So the first thing you see, Lullaby, as you move from the dining hall, you hear the tinking sound. And you realize as you're passing from the dining hall to the nearby, it's essentially a company. It's just they share a wall, the bar, one of the lounges. And what you see, Lullaby, is Ruthie Bowen, which I don't think you've had an extensive interaction with, but you do remember her from the very first day. She bumped into Kaz. She is an older, middle-aged, kind of leathery-skinned frontierswoman of some kind, prospector type. Definitely a bit rough around the edges socially, and just Long, you would know it's the same woman that Melissa was talking to last session. When you peek in, you very quickly see the source of the tink as Ruthie is laying flat on the bar counter. Her entrails have spilled out and are everywhere from some large rupture inside of her torso, where you can see she has buried her pickaxe, and she keeps reaching into her torso, digging around, and she pulls out something. It's covered in like gook and blood, and then she just kind of licks it a little bit and then throws it down into what appears to be a drinking glass, and it goes ting, and you can see that she's got a couple drinking glasses here, and they all seem to be like silver nuggets, each one of them. And she's just in this constant state of reaching in, cleaning, tink, and that's what it is. I'll say she doesn't necessarily notice you as you peek in, because she seems so engrossed in her prospecting. What would you like to do?
What is going on? Everyone has lost their minds. If Swenson is not in here,
Eureka! I found something finally.
She says, like spittle coming out of her mouth as she tries to talk.
You found something.
And she holds it up. She tries to crane her neck around to see you. It's mine. And she's got another nugget of silver in her hands that she's just pulled out from underneath her rib cage, and she drops it into the whiskey glass again.
Stay away.
And she wrenches the pickaxe free from where she used it to puncture her torso. And even though she's not moving towards you, she's holding it up and brandishing it as if you were to come close to steal this, she might go prospecting inside you as well.
You can keep it, and I'll leave.
Okay. You leave her to her prospecting. You continue down this hall, and when you follow the sounds of what you know of anybody would know is Molly Cortis's voice, the beautiful blonde-haired, curly-haired woman who has been sitting at the captain's table and is just so desperate for compliments and seemed relatively shallow when she was trying to entertain both you and Petra earlier that night. And when you peek into the theater, you can see that she is on the stage, and she appears to be performing, and she has a very full audience where you can see there's about 12 people that are in seats, and she is quite literally inflating and deflating as if she's a balloon. And whenever she sings, you can hear the kind of breathlessness where she and as she tries to hit the high notes, her body kind of contracts as the air comes down. And it's really just, when you look at her, it's just this leathery balloon, this skin that just seems to inflate and deflate, inflate and deflate as she hits the highs and the low notes. And all of the people, you realize, as you look more closely, Lullaby, all of them, well, some of them, their skin seems to be discolored, pockmarked, ruptured. You can see bone underneath where like the jaw should be. One of the arms is just a pure skeletal arm itself. You realize that this is just a room filled with the dead. But when she's in between songs, you see they lift their hands up and they start to applause. And she continues on to the next song. What would you like to do?
May the spirits bring you peace. I shut the door.
You see 3 of the heads nearest you go, as they look back as you say that, but you shut the door. You hear this, like the skittering of bones, and you sounds like someone from the other side of the door is actually getting up. And you feel like pressure on the other side of the door as they're trying to open the door up to the theater. What's your plan here, Lullaby? Do you try to brace it? Do you try to rush? Try to run away? What would you like to do? Because you can feel they're trying to push through the door at you.
Just an object I can jam in between the doors to keep it shut.
Okay. Give me a quick test to see if you can reach over and you can grab. Maybe there's some kind of like floor to like standing candlestick thing for where like there's an illumination lamp coming off of it, like a floor lamp, and see if you just jam it. But see if you can do this fast enough so that you grab it and the door doesn't open in the process. So I'd want a quick test. Athletics is probably the best.
Okay. Oh, I got an 8. Do I have any aces? Oh, I don't.
You don't.
Failed.
You reach over, and as you grab it, the door busts open, and you can see 3 or 4 of these things just tumble over each other into the middle of the hall. We're going to cut then at this point, as there's now 3 or 4 of these dead audience members that are just a couple feet from Lullaby. We come back to Lena and Dora and Petra. Lena, you've got your new gun. What do the 3 of you want to do next?
Well, when Dora spoke with Lullaby, he said he was going to be in the storage thing down. So
Cargo hold.
yeah, so she's running.
Okay. Do all of you run together?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get down. We'll say you go down those starboard stairs, and I'll describe the same thing that Lullaby saw, which is that you hear the sounds of the tink. You hear the sounds of a woman's voice breathlessly, desperately hitting high notes and low notes, and you see blood on the ground. And I'll also say you can see down the hall, right as Lullaby tries to reach out and grabs that floor to side of the wall kind of candlestick or lantern, the door to the theater collapses open, and you can see 3 or 4 creatures, not unlike those that the 3 of you saw inside the wheelhouse, come stumbling out. Let's go ahead and let's move into an initiative, basically. So we'll say there's going to be, I'll say 4. So there's 4 of them in the middle of the hall that have reacted to Lullaby. There's more in the theater. They not all necessarily piling out. Lullaby is on one side of them, far down the hall, on the other side of the hall from you. He's actually closer to the port side stairs than he is to the starboard stairs. You all have just come down the starboard stairs. You can see down the theater. You can see down the hall in the direction of the theater. That's where we're at. Which one of you would like to go first? I think Lullaby probably makes sense for have him go first, as he's right up in the biz. So Lullaby, what would you do in this case?
I would run from them.
Okay. Do you try to run? I'll say you can see your compatriots down the hall. Do you want to try to run past this grouping, or do you want to try to run away towards the port stairs? That would still keep you alone, though, if you went that way. Do you have a preference?
I'll run past.
Okay. If that's the case, give me an athletics. Give me an athletics quick test to try to like leap over them and such as they kind of reach and grab out at you. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. 11 this time.
Okay. So they are reaching and grabbing, but this time, do you like parkour? Like, how do you get past them as they're standing up and trying to reach up and grab you now? What does it look like?
The candlestick I have, using it to trip him up a bit, put him off balance so I can easily push myself through.
Okay, and so they like kind of, you can see they get caught underneath it for a bit, and like that trips one of them, but you manage to get through, and you race, we'll say, down the hall, and you're with them. Let's go ahead and do an ante as you're still technically. That's a joker. Steven, I know how jokers work, but is this for Lullaby specifically?
Whoever you would have targeted. So ante up again, and
Lullaby. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. So basically, jokers are good. They're potentially good. So we ante up again, and then you're gonna Lullaby. Good things are eventually going to happen to you, but let's see how this goes. Okay, 2 of hearts. All right, so these creatures are gonna come. They're still gonna come at you. We'll resolve the Joker, I think, after this. So these things are gonna scramble after you as you're trying to reach your friends. Give me a spirit save. As you can feel, as you're running, it almost seems like the hallway starts to grow in length. There's this weird parallax moment where it just seems like Dora and Lena and Petra are being pulled away to the starboard side of the ship, and you feel yourself being pulled back as the weird seems to be taking its effect. So spirit save.
All right, double D12s. 12.
Okay, fantastic. So you can go ahead and bank an ace for that, and then because we drew a joker, we set it aside, and then we keep and then once we draw and we ante up again, and once we eventually get an effect, the person who was targeted is going to get a number of sleeved aces and a bump to their weird die equal to the amount of jokers we set aside. In this case, it's just 1, but because your weird die is so high already. You can't go up to D20, so yeah, you can go ahead and take a second sleeve ace. All right, Lullaby.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, just remember I did that for you. Right. Okay, Dora, Lena, and Petra, you can see Lullaby is running towards you, and he almost kind of rubber bands at one point where it looks like he's pulled back, and then he lurches forward as if you can see the hall itself is beginning to bend and band a bit. And you see behind him are all these groupings of dead. They're kind of stuck a little bit behind this lantern, which is now the width of the hall, and they're trying to climb over top of it, but they're chasing after him. They sweep, they try to grab him, but he gets away. What do you all want to do?
Can I go next? Because I can just do the shot and the assist. So we're going off.
Absolutely.
Make use of the assist.
Go for it.
So using my fast reflexes for the extra simple action, same as before. And drawing my big iron and taking a shot. I am very specifically not going to use the line of heart because that feels gauche. So I will use a repeater, which is long guns and grit. Is that right?
Sounds right, yeah.
Got it. Sorry. Okay.
1 second.
Oh yeah, go for it. One of these days, I'm going to surround you with these so that I can activate more than one at once. Okay, 13.
13.
Okay. So on a successful attack against these, Lena, you can sweeten the pot with 2 aces to immediately kill one of them, regardless of its current health. Is that something you would be interested?
This roll gives me 1 ace, is that right?
Yes, so your 13 is
so
3 above, so yeah, it'd be an ace.
Okay, so then in that case, yes, that's what I would like to do.
So
I'll use the ace from this and the sleep ace that I have.
So as they start to climb over top, and like the first one that stands up, their head just explodes. They fall. Second one kind of clambers over, and there's a few more that are coming down the hall as well as they are moving in your directions. I'm going to still target Lullaby because I'm going to say he's probably the furthest one or closest one to them. So we're going to say that he'll be the target of this ante again. Another spirit, as it's 9 of hearts, is once more. This time the hallway just seems to collapse on you as opposed to extend. It almost feels like the walls are starting to pinch right as you're just a couple feet away from your friends. So give me another spirit save there, Lullaby.
My strength is in spirit. I got a 10.
Fantastic. So what does it look like as you get past this little pinch in the hall?
I'm swinging my arms as fast as I can. Rush to the others. This whole hall has gone to hell.
Okay. So Lena and Lullaby have gone. Dora or Petra?
And you get the assist, so everybody is on your check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dora would have to reload her musket.
We could say you did that at some point between before. Yeah.
Yeah, then she's just gonna pull out her big iron, Selma, and shoot down this hallway.
Okay.
And, yeah, because I think our plan is to just, once he gets through, to block these doors.
There are doors that are usually hooked and pinned that can be closed to the outside. So you certainly could do that.
Yeah. So, okay, so to shoot, that would be a grit and my long gun, which is a D8 and a D12.
Okay. Give it a rip.
Oh, that's a 9.
Fire out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like you have any aces either. But did you did you raise the die from Lena's assist?
Oh, I did not.
Okay, so re-roll the D8 so re-roll a D10. We'll keep the 4 on the D12. Just roll a D10. All right, doesn't help, unfortunately.
3.
Yeah. Okay, so the shot goes wide. It kind of splinters a section of like the wainscoting that's on the walls of this.
Yeah.
And then we'll say that they again are scrambling towards you all. Lullaby, diamonds this time. So give me a reckon test as you try to rejoin your team more and more. And this time it's just they've managed to kind of close the distance. They're just reaching out with their hands, trying to grab you.
Well, that's a 19. Holy
shit. Are you sure you're rolling? Are you rolling D1? You're doing D100s, right? We're not doing Call of Cthulhu today, so you shouldn't be doing the D100s. Okay. That's 4 aces.
Wow.
It's a save, so I don't think I get any.
Oh, it's a save. What am I talking about? Yeah, you can't generate. You can spend, but you can't generate.
Man.
Okay. All right. But hell, you did a really good job. So what does it look like as you avoid the damage from these things?
I have to do it with my eyes closed now. I can sense the surroundings instead of using my vision.
He's Neo.
Everything just looks like code now. I just see the spirits now. That's all it is. Okay.
Machine spirits this time.
It's machine spirit. Oh, good. The Omnisci is here. Petra, you're the last one to go.
So,
I'll tell you this. If you want to do as your, it's up to you. If we want to say, if your group's interested in just closing the door and like jamming the door, if you wanted to make that your action, like you could do that at this point. Lullaby's probably close enough to you because he's passed 3 saves, like he's with you now. If you wanted to do that, that's fine. If you wanted to keep blasting, though, that's cool too. Whatever you like.
I will make sure that the door is closed so that we can keep them here and move to other places.
Okay, so I'll say, no real role for this. It's more just reaching up and getting the hooks and just pulling the doors or slamming the doors closed, and then
hurry. And then like as soon as the lullaby comes through, she's like pulling it closed.
We see like Petra like rip a part of the railing off and just jam it in to sort of barricade the doors. And then you hear a thump as the undead, these dead folk, zombies for lack of a better term, slam against the wall. You're all together. Lullaby saw some things. They're beating against the door, so at some point they might try to break it down, but right now it's holding. So what do you all want to do?
Thank you, friends. Came just in time.
Swenson.
Did not see him there. I did check what's for dinner. I recommend not going for what they're serving.
That's great. Good to know. Wasn't feeling hungry.
Potatoes. Got it. So did you check the... Did you check that one room that we were heading to, or not yet?
I've not made it there yet.
Okay, let's keep going.
To the cargo hold.
He's been successfully distracted by the GM, or the shuttle bus. Okay. You guys race down to the first floor. Is that correct? Am I understanding your intentions there?
Yes.
So you get down to deck 1, and deck 1 is the closest to the water, obviously. The stairs will say are relatively middle of the ship. When you get down, you know that like you can kind of, if you went towards the front of the ship, it's kind of where the loading happens, like where the ramps come out, because the ship literally goes face first towards where it's loading and unloading. You unload ramps, and then the cargo is a little bit more mixed down here. When you get down here and you're just sort of looking for any signs of things, you notice 2 things. First, you can see as you get down to the stairs, you look off this way, that towards the front of the ship, you see that you hear the sounds of like the grinding of metal. You hear the sounds of like people shuffling about, like you think there's a crowd towards the front. But you also, when you look over towards the cargo hold, it does appear as though the cargo hold's door has been wrenched open. So the last time you all had seen it, Swenson kicked you all out and sort of slammed this door shut. You can see it's been wrenched open. So those are the 2 things you see when you get down here. What would you like to do with that?
Oh shit. When we boarded, we walked up onto the boat on planks.
Yes, how else would we get up here?
Yeah, and you mentioned that they saw Swenson being walked off or kicked off planks.
We must hurry. Through this door?
Dora's
Yeah, we
heading
go
to
into the
front of
cargo
ship.
hold.
Okay, so Dora's heading to the front of the ship. Some of you are going into the cargo hold. Those are 2 different things. So who is going to the front of the ship with Dora, and who is going into the cargo hold?
I'll follow Dora.
Okay, Dora and Lullaby.
Go to the cargo.
Lena, you take it. You're going to peek into the cargo hold. Petra.
Cargo hold.
Okay, so Lena, Petra, you split off and you peek in to the cargo hold. Dora, Lullaby, you run down the side of the ship to see what's going on towards the front. We'll resolve the cargo hold first. When Lena and Petra, you look in, you can tell that there's been something awful has happened here, in the sense that all of the cargo containers, the crates and things, the barrels have all been like broken apart. You can see everything's been smashed. A few things are still together. Probably some of Kaz's barrels and things are still together. But you can see there's been a great deal of destruction. And you do both notice in the middle of the cargo, in the midst of all of that destruction, there is like a vertical box that's maybe 8 feet tall. And it's built to crudely resemble what looks like a coffin. And you can see that there are 3 of these creatures with skeleton bones showing, flesh falling off of their bodies here and there. Their clothes are old and stained. You've seen them. You just got chased from the second deck. You saw some of them inside the wheelhouse. They seem to be like pumping what appears to be some kind of tubing. It looks like maybe something from somewhere in the ship. And like it's connected to some kind of cask, and you see this liquid come up through the tubing and down into a hole that has been opened in that coffin that's standing up very tall. Someone of considerable height could probably be fit into it. And you see, or actually you hear and that's what you 2 see. Anything with it?
Petra kind of reaches behind her to, kind of get her bow at the ready, and kind of looks at Lena just to confirm that we're...
Yeah. As long as like she's got like something like a weapon out, I'm gonna...
Petra, you said it first. You said you got your bow out. Give us a roll. Fire one.
All right. So I've got a D8 grits and a D6 long guns.
You're going to fire at the first one, which I have called officially. So Steve's going to put this in the scenario. A. One sitting next to it is B.
Oh man!
Guess what the third one is? It's not what you think.
3.
It's G, man. It's G. For G cell.
Okay. So here's what I'm. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I rolled a 6 and a 3, which is a 9, which would be a fail.
Weird.
So
that
I am going to. I'm going to use my one free calling card to get myself an ace, so that I can do this. So
Hell yes!
I'm gonna say. So she. I would say kind of hanging from kind of where her quiver, where she's got some bows, there is this very small woven leather bracelet that's back there. And so I'm going to say, like, as she's kind of reaching back to grab a bow to notch, she feels that bracelet. So that was her sister's child size, like, bracelet. And so I'll say that gives her the ace, which then she'll kind of cash in to pass this.
Okay. And what is the damage you would do with this bow?
Oh, right.
First number.
3.
Of the 2. Yeah. So you do 3. Okay, perfect. So you fire this arrow, and right as it hits, they turn around and they see you, and they start scrambling towards the door. So let me go ahead and give them a quick ante. Okay. So Petra, like, they start rushing at you, and not unlike the effect that Lullaby was describing, like, they just seem all of a sudden to be closer to you, as like the sheer space of the area just seems to compress, and they aren't as far away as you thought they were as they reach out to try to grapple you. Give us a spirit test to see if you can avoid this.
All right, so that is going to be a D10 for spirit and D12 for weird. Man, that's a 3 and a 3. So that's fail.
Okay. So if that's the case, they do manage to leap and begin to start hacking through you a bit. So this is going to be, what did I say? That was spirit, right? Okay. So you take a minor injury and you get busted D8. Or, excuse me, bush D8, not busted. That'd be great. I'm gonna bust. Never mind. Okay, you're bush D8. You're a bush D8 as they start to grapple and try to pin you to the ground. And despite the fact that they are skeletal, despite the fact that their musculature, their flesh is very much ripped apart, they still somehow have a great deal of force that you're struggling against. Okay. So, Lena, it is your turn. You now have, we'll say, an at hand. And then you have like a couple at short. So there's A is at hand right next to Petra, and then a couple more are in short, just a handful of feet away.
Okay. Fast reflexes will let me switch from my repeater to the Lionheart, which is at hand. And let me use the Lionheart.
Yeah,
which
you are.
Is handguns. And what is the grit?
So handguns and let's see, pistol. Is it? Isn't it still
quick?
I think it's still. Is it quick or is it quick? Yeah, quick for handguns.
Quick is what Steven's saying.
Grit for long guns. Yeah.
So quick is D10, and my handguns is D6.
Okay.
So I've been using long guns this whole time, so I have to look for it. That is an 11.
Hell yeah, you rolled a 10 on your D10. Okay.
Made it for the 1.
The damage on the gun was it 5? 6?
Damage on the gun is B6, critical is 3. But I don't know if this is like the repeater where it switched.
No, the critical, like you would sweeten the pot and basically get your crit damage and stuff from it. So in this case, you're just doing your base. Your base is still enough. So describe what it looks like as you shoot. This one right next that's kind of trying to pin Petra down to the ground. What does it look like?
I think she's barely paying attention to that thing, and when she pulls out the gun, she looks at it off like very lovingly, and it's really much more this experience with the gun than it is about shooting this thing. And if she happens to kill it, then so be it. And that's what happens.
Okay. The other two are still here. They're still just a couple of feet away, so they're within basically simple movement closeness of you. So they're gonna I'm gonna say they're gonna go for Lena now. So this ante up. It's gonna be diamonds. So similarly, they're gonna try to essentially pull you to the ground. And I think, yeah, the overwhelming numbers is only when they're at hand. So I can't get that yet. One day.
So diamonds is reckon.
Yeah, it's reckon. Sorry.
And it says save, so it's my weird.
Okay. You got this.
Which is a D12. So we'll see.
Oh dear.
Oh man, that's just a 3.
You
Yikes.
similarly, much like Petra, like so maybe we say one of them kind of almost takes Petra to ground. She kind of pins against this rubble of crates. You shoot and take that one off, but maybe you turn to do it, and that gives the opening for the next one to come and just kind of do the same thing to you, and is effectively grappling, pinning you. So you take a minor injury, and you also are bush D8. Now,
This is what happens when you pay too much attention to the gun.
Dora and Lullaby. So I'm going to switch over to you for a second. We're going to do this at the same time because that's fun. So you two were running towards the front of the ship. You come around the corner of the center structure of the ship so that you can see the flat front where it seems a small crowd has gathered. And what you do in fact see is that there are two groups of these, for lack of better terms, zombies, these creatures that are half skeleton, half flesh. And both groups, one of them is working the anchor capstans, and they're essentially, as you watch, you see them lower and then raise, lower and raise. You only hear that maybe that rotation happened once, and in that you hear, please stop. And you can see just briefly what looks like the face of Swenson, as he appears to be, he's being keel-hauled, basically. He's chained to the anchor, and he is being essentially dipped into the water and pulled out, and dipped into the water, pulled out, and you can tell that they're effectively drowning. He, however, is not skeletal. He looks still to be himself. And Lullaby, I'm going to give you this because you've been being haunted in some ways by this language that has been popping up, these words. You've seen it in the spiral. You've heard it whispered to you in the hall. You heard Sybil say something to you. And you notice as he comes up and he kind of wrenches and tries to pull free, you can see that carved into his back in a similar spiral shape, like bleeding still as he's dipped in and pulled out, and the blood seems to kind of just pull from the wounds once more. It looks to be like something has been carved in a spiral, not unlike the wood carving up top. And as you're looking at that, Lullaby, the two of you hear a gunshot back from the cargo hold. What do the two of you do?
How many of them are out here?
We'll say there are 2 on one, 2 on the other.
Yeah. Unless Lullaby stops me or has an idea, Dora will run towards one group of 2 with wonderful Wendy. But before she does so, she pulls out her calling card, which is this strange kind of like bone knife.
Of course it's a bone knife. Of course it's bone, Ashley. Ashley's playing a character. Of course it's bone.
At least it's not a body part.
It's a finger.
Like a
bone is not a body part.
I meant to say like a fleshy body part. You know, like an ear or something. That's usually my kid and caboodle.
Gotcha.
No, this one's like it's an animal bone of some kind.
Mhm.
And
And they
she
don't matter.
has. They do, but she has on her forearm this kind of like raised scarring, and it's in this some sort of like family kind of like symbol that she has. And so she takes her bone and she does cut herself again over top of the sigil to again increase the scarring on it. And as she bleeds, I would like to invoke my disposition of being bloodthirsty. So whenever I spill blood, I sleeve an ace.
Okay.
And then my
Two
calling
aces.
card, 2 aces.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she kind of like chuckles to herself because like she spilled some blood. She'll lick it off, and then she'll reach up and she grabs Wendy and she just looks proudly at Lullaby because shit's gonna get fucked up. Whether it's us or them, who knows? But she's happy to be a part of it. And she's gonna run out there and try and kill someone.
I love it. You charge in, you've got Wendy unsheathed, and you're swinging down. Go ahead. I'll tell you what, you can even take a raise on this because you're coming in without like firing at them first. So they're probably too busy with their thing to even notice you there yet. So you can take, I'll give you a raise on you to come sweeping in.
Awesome. So with a raise, I'm gonna be rolling 2 d12s.
I changed my mind. You're going to be busted multiple times. Yeah, go for it.
I rolled a 5.
Did you roll a 5?
Yeah, 5.
That's awful.
8, 9, and even spending, I can't.
Just lower
pass.
your weird dice again.
You know
Yeah,
what? I'm gonna do that.
Do it.
Do it.
Saves are not going to be important. This
It's
is
definitely
definitely
not.
the final fight.
I'm definitely gonna die, so it's fine.
Okay. There you go.
13.
There you go. 13. You go ahead and
Hell
you can
yeah.
sleeve your aces because you're shedding. Technically, you're shedding blood. We'll say there's blood on these things. So you're shedding blood. That's what it sounds like, right? So I think it's actually just flavor. It's whatever you describe shedding blood to be. It's not like
Yeah,
literally shedding of blood. So you take. So you basically get your aces from that. What's the damage that you're doing?
7. It's
7.
Wendy.
Oh, so close. Do you want to burn 2 aces to just kill it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right, so hang on. I have 2 fights going on. So this one's going to be D, E, and then there's going to be E, and then we're going to call one X and Y. That's on the other capstan. And so you just essentially killed D. Okay, so you slash through D. However, E is right next to it, and it's going to turn around and is going to try to do something awful to you. And I drew clubs. They're going to effectively... Yeah, they're just basically going to start to maybe one of the other ones from the capstan start coming close. You can see they're starting to swarm you, and they just start swinging around on you. So go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll your grit.
Okay, so that's my weird die now, just for clarity, is a d6.
Nice.
So d12, d6. And I
Gotcha.
roll a total of 3.
Oh dear. That's a fail. So minor injury.
That is a fail.
So what does this minor injury look like as they start? Like this one turns around, kind of lets the chain go a little bit, and you can see the dipping kind of becomes kind of crooked, but you start getting beat from the back as you hack through one of these. What does it look like? What's the injury?
I think she takes like a bone shard to the back. So
Okay.
yeah.
They just literally break their wrists off in you.
Yeah,
like,
and it just and it's stuck there, and maybe
I
it
love
like
it.
catches on my shoulder bone.
Lullaby. You see Dora hack one to pieces, take a bone in the back. I gotta work on my phrasing, but Lullaby, what would you like to do?
I'm right here for you, Dora. I'm gonna pull another tomahawk from the other side of my long head.
I love it.
White hair. This one's
Okay.
dressed in furs. Got little bunny feet.
Aw. You're using it to attack an undead thing with it. All right.
Yeah, I'm just
absolutely.
looking at its head.
Go for it.
That's a 10.
That'll
I can
hit.
spend 2 aces to crit or kill.
You can spend 2 aces because of what these things are to immediately kill. Yeah. Is that what you're doing?
Go ahead and do that. Yeah.
Okay. So you attack the one that was attacking her?
Yeah, the one behind her.
All right, so both, so the two that were by the one capstan are now dead, and you can see that means the lowering and the raising is kind of getting all screwed up now, and you can tell like Swenson is chained up, and without help he's probably going to drown. But because you have managed to take two of them out, the up and the down isn't really happening, and so he's periodically able to dip his head above that oily water. Because remember, it's not the fresh, clean water of a normal river. It's the nasty, muddy, blackened oil. And you can see not too far off from the front of the boat, the firewall that just seems to be moving along with you, like the pacing of it. It just seems to move along with the way in which the ship is moving as well. Okay, but there are these two others. One of them is going to turn and stumble at Lullaby. Ace of Hearts. So aces, I think, are just like jokers, if I recall. So we set that aside. You lucky bastard. And then King of Diamonds. I like face cards.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
So remember that a face card just increases the effect is basically what's happening. So Diamonds is Reckon Lullaby as you throw and you try to recoil yourself, but it's like it moves faster than you think it should, and it's trying to pin you against the side of that center structure of the ship. Remember, you guys are kind of on the outer railing, the walkway along the outside of it, and it's trying to pin you against the wall.
I got an 8, but I'll go ahead and spend another ace.
That'd be a good thing to do, so you don't take the increased effect. Okay, excellent. Let's come back we switch back now into the cargo hold, where we see Lena and Petra. One of them has been killed. A second one is effectively pinned Lena against the wall a bit. Both of you are bushed. Effectively, what that means is on your turn, you roll whatever the die is. I think it's D8. And if you roll, I think it's above the 4, right? Is it 4 up or is it just 5, 6, 7?
4 and
okay,
above.
4 plus.
4 and above.
So if you roll 4 plus, you take the effect of bushed. But if you roll 1, 2, or 3, you're okay. Or did I do that backwards?
Jeff, I missed mentioning
right.
this the last time, but my disposition is justified. So if you attack on the same turn that you drew your big iron, you were dealt an additional ace on the success.
Okay,
So,
yeah, you go ahead and take
last turn, I should. Is that okay?
it. Yeah, go ahead and take it. It's fine.
Thanks.
Okay, so you can go in whatever order you want. Who's going first? Lena right now is kind of pinned. Petra, she killed the one that was trying to pin you. There's still one more that you can tell has dropped whatever they were shoving and feeding into that coffin and is turned now and is starting to stumble in your direction. So that's upkeep, basically. I'm going to have a simple movement. So technically, at the end of every round, anything I didn't activate, and I didn't activate this one, is going to make a simple move, like a simple action. And so he's going to stumble up to you all. And so right now, there are 2 of these creatures at hand. One is effectively pinning Lena, and the other one is just kind of gotten up in your face. So which one of you want to
first,
go?
and that's the bush roll, which is a D8 first, right?
Yeah, so go ahead and roll your D8.
That's a 5.
Nice.
So 5 means you do in
I
fact, you do in fact suffer the effects of bush, which I am.
So 5, 4
I got it.
means that you're good.
Your saves are busted. And you increase all
other way
injuries.
around. 4 and up means I ambush. So 5 means I ambush.
Not bad.
Yeah, so 5 you are bush. So what was I saying? You are, so your saves are busted, and any injuries you receive this round are increased by a step. So minor goes to moderate, moderate goes to major, major goes to I blew your fucking head off. So what would you like to do?
Ew.
I'm gonna try and take a shot at this jerk with my Lionheart.
Why you gotta make it personal like that with the name calling?
Because he just fucked me up like a lot.
You killed his best friend.
Yeah.
A and B go back a really long time. Like they've been tight since the beginning.
Petra killed A.
Okay, fair. All right, go for it. What you're shooting?
No, that's a D6 plus my grit, which is D12.
Gotcha.
It's quick for handguns. Or is it quick?
For handguns, it was quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a D10.
Okay. With
So
the
that's
stolen Lionheart.
only a little storm.
It's only a little. It's borrowed. You know.
I found it.
You'll give it back to him when you can steal something better later.
That's a 9, and I'm happy to spend my ace to succeed.
Okay. What is the damage? It's 6, 5. I
3.
asked you last time.
3.
No. It's the base damage of it. The
Yeah,
one before
base
the
is
slash.
3.
Oh.
Oh no, base
No, I think
is
it's the other way
6. I'm so
Yeah, that's what I
sorry.
thought.
Critical is 3.
Okay. Fortunately, it's not enough to take it out, but it is, as you shoot at it, a huge chunk of it wrenches free. It's going to try to attack you back, and for the first time, I actually get to use one of its abilities. So these things have a trait called Overwhelming Numbers. When a trail boss activates an aggrieved dead, I can activate an additional aggrieved dead that's at hand. 2 of them are now at hand. I only ante once, but each of these can take different simple actions and target different mavericks. So if I am interpreting that correctly, that means I can attack each of you with whatever I'm about to draw. If I'm interpreting that incorrectly, Steven, shut your face. That's what I'm doing anyway. Nah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Okay, here it goes. Queen of Diamonds. It's a face card. Yes. Sorry,
Oh my
so
gosh.
excited. So excited.
Oh no.
Okay. So both of you, and it's a diamonds too, and we all know that you all are in a smart group. So go ahead and give me a reckon save.
Okay. And I'm
So,
busted
quick clarifying-
because the bush. Sorry, go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, I haven't technically gone yet. So like, I
Great
had
question.
pre-rolled a 4, which is a fail. So even though I hadn't gone yet,
Gotcha.
should I have still rolled that, or it doesn't count yet?
So
Okay.
looking
I'm
up
getting a
really
head
fast in my
shake
book.
that says I don't need to count that yet.
Okay, so now it's your
Okay.
turn. Perfect. I was just looking up. All right, so this is going to be.
My
Reckon save?
question was how to do a busted save.
You lower your higher of the 2 dice to 1 step. So if you're at a D10, if that's your highest dice, lower it to a D8.
Okay.
Why do I keep rolling really high on things that don't give me aces? I am ace poor. I rolled
Would
an
you
11
rather
and
have
a
rolled
6.
really poor on this face card attack?
No, but I'd like to roll really well on both things. I got a 17.
17,
Oh, that's
you are
awesome.
good. As this thing comes at you and tries to essentially smash your head against the wall, but you definitely move out of the way. Maybe you even use your bow a little bit to parry. And then Lena, how'd you do?
15.
15? I don't believe you. Where's the 15? Oh, conveniently we're rolling now physical dice. The whole night she's rolling digitally, and now, okay. Wow. I expect that from Melissa. I don't expect that from you. No, you're both okay.
Why?
You're
I
both
have an info command everything.
okay. Okay. So that is, I agree, Shady AF, which stands for something. Petra, you can go. So both of these have tried to attack you. Both of you managed to defend them, but they are still up in your grills. Petra, what would you like to do?
Okay, so the up in the grills thing then is
kill one, I'm
problematic
doing that
for
again.
me because that's then bow not so much.
Of the 2, one of them has a giant hole where Lena just shot it. The other one, although dead, doesn't have a giant hole in it where Lena just shot it. So of the 2, that's your quick state of affairs.
Yeah, and so the one that has the hole in it is the one that's farther from me.
You guys, you came in the door. You guys didn't say you were moving anywhere, so I'm assuming we're all
Okay,
just
so
kind
they're
of
both real close.
right near the
That's
front.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then if I can shoot it with my bow, I would like to still shoot with my bow.
Yeah. Is there a busted for bows at hand targets, Steven?
Yeah, so
The
it's
damage is
interesting for
switched.
me.
The damage is
'Cause
switched. I knew it was something. Thank you. Okay.
Critical for me is actually higher. So like the critical it's actually going to be a 4 because
Okay.
it's closer.
Well, why don't you roll to see if you hit first, cheater?
And I did fail. So now that it's my not the hit. I had now is when kind of the roll for the
Oh, the
bush is
bush.
going to come into
Okay.
effect, which I
Okay.
did roll a 4 on. So just
Well, your
to
saves
put
are
that
busted, not your
out there.
skill rolls.
Right.
So this isn't going to
Exactly.
affect your attack.
Yeah, so just
Okay.
wanted to put that out there. So long guns is a D6 and
Okay.
grit is a D8
Okay.
that I'm rolling straight. I have no aces.
And you're attacking the one that's
and-
already been attacked by Lena.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right. I rolled a 7 and a 3, which is a 10. So I'm right on with that. And because it switched, I do a 4 damage.
And as you're right next to it, what does it look like as you kill this other one?
Nice.
So she, as she's aiming at it, there's like a really big hole in it. And so she's having to be very intentional about like, don't shoot straight through the hole. So she's having to like adjust a little bit. So she's going like for the head instead of the big hole. Because if I
Okay.
missed, I was going to say my arrow just went through the big hole.
So as you kind of position yourself to fire and hit the one that's attacking Lena, the other one is going to lunge at you then, Petra. And that's what I'm going to do for its ante-up. Another queen. All of the face cards are coming because I didn't get like any, and now they're just all coming. So this is the queen of
Yikes.
spades. So, man, we haven't had a
Okay.
spade for a while. Spade is
Any
quick.
damage that you do to me, like an injury, is going to be like higher because I failed the bush roll.
If you take an injury, your injury will be increased. Your saves are also busted because of bushed. So you're really going to have to do some mega cheating to pass this one, sounds like.
Okay, so what am I rolling?
You are rolling quick as I drew spades.
I'm rolling. Oh gosh, darn.
That's what I'd like to
Okay,
hear.
so quick is a D6.
Okay.
My weird would normally be a D12, but because I am bushed, it means I'm busted, which means it's a D10.
D10.
So D6 and D10. Come on. All right. 8 and a 2, 11.
8 to 2 is 10, but it's still a pass.
Sorry.
That's what we deal with. That's what we deal with. Oh, a 6 to the 3, 45. That's a pass. Right? It's basically what she does all the time. Okay.
Mel, for whatever it's worth, when you said 8 and 12, 11, I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
We got a couple of raiders. Vactera, thank you so much. And Papa Probo, you sweet, sexy boy. Thank you for the raid. Thank you so much, Gabe. Good to see you, buddy. All right. So you managed to fend this one off. We will shift then over to the front of the boat, where last we saw Dora hacked through one of them. Lullaby took a second one out with his thrown tomahawk. There are still 2 more. One of them is kind of clinging desperately to the chain that has Swenson connected through like the anchoring. He's kind of being keelhauled, but it's not effectively going up and down anymore. And the second one's loose and kind of scrambling between the 2 of you. I think it last went after Lullaby. So one's at hand with Lullaby, the other one's short, basically. Which one of you wants to go first? Dora,
I'm
Lullaby.
ready here. I'll chuck my
All right,
other
man.
one. I'll pull my Black Swan this time
Okay.
and chuck it at the head of a skeleton that's doing the anchoring.
Okay, so you're going to ignore the one near you and just throw it at the other one that's got the anchor. Got it. Okay, man.
Let's see, D10, D8.
D10 and a D8.
Roll a 5. I don't have enough aces. It's a fail.
Okay, do you have anything that you can use? Do you want to dip your weird die
could.
down?
Yeah,
And
you
reroll
can
one of
pull a
them?
me.
Oh yeah, I should be doing that. I'll drop the
Your weird die is
D10 to
super
reroll.
high.
Hell
Yeah.
yes.
Go for it, man. So you dip it. So I think you were at a D12 before, so you're down to a D10 on your weird die, and now you're rerolling.
Got a better result of 15. And I'll
15 is
crit
fantastic. Okay.
2 aces I just
so
got.
what does it look like as you kind of just step out from the side of the one that's trying to smash your head into the wall and take the other one out? What does that look like?
I pull Black Swan out of my head. Give it a little flourish. Throw it in the air. It flies like a swan. It looks like a bird just took the skeleton out.
Okay. The one near you, though, will obviously attack you. And so 3 of clubs, this will be grit as they try to just rip. They're effectively just trying to rip your arm clear out of its socket. They just grab hold of it and pull.
All right, it's my worst stat.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear, too. While you're doing that, if you're just listening and you're not paying attention to the chat, hop into the Twitch chat really fast. Steven's going to be doing a giveaway here in a sec.
That's a lolly on the D10, so like an 11.
Attaboy. Okay, so you manage to dodge. You throw, kill one. The second one tries to pull your arm off. You fend it off, kind of stiff arm it down. Dora, you turn around, and you can see Lullaby right now at the edge of the boat. It's kind of in a scuffle with one. All of the chains that were bringing him up and down, bringing Swenson up and down, are no longer being held. You can tell that he's just kind of there. So you have an option here. You could obviously go kill the one that's near Lullaby, but you also notice that with no one holding the chains, he's just the anchor now is just dipping into the water. You could attempt a grit save to just sort of pull him to safety.
I think that's what Dora would do. Yeah, is grab that.
Athletics, grit.
All right, so it's gonna be D12, D8.
Here we go. That's pretty good. On the average, you're gonna pass that all the time.
With how I've been rolling.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
7.
You want to dip your weird die some more?
Yeah, let's just dump it to a D4.
Hell yeah.
Can't go to D4, unfortunately.
No.
Oh, you can't go to
never
D4.
mind.
Oh, no.
I can't dip it.
Okay, so here's what I'll say.
Can I injure myself?
That's what I was going to negotiate with if you wanted. We can say as you can successfully kind of pull and kind of get him to the edge of the boat, but in doing so, like you strain something. Does that sound cool?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I
love
imagine
it.
she just, again, pulls like a muscle now in her back.
Okay. So you have a back muscle. Oh, God, don't pull a back muscle. Those things are awful. I've done that a lot. Go ahead. So go ahead and put that in. Do you have a slot for a minor injury left still?
Yeah, I do. But
Okay,
now
and so-
all of my minors are full.
Okay, and you're basically holding as he's near the edge, and he's chained up, so somebody else has to help him. And this one's going to, this other living creature, not living, this other aggrieved dead is going to ante up at Lullaby. Since he wasn't killed. Spades this time, which is quick. As he again is just trying to smash and kill you here, Lullaby.
Double D10s.
Okay.
I rolled snake eyes.
Oh my.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yikes.
Snake eyes, huh? Okay.
That's
so
bad.
first thing that happens is you're going to take a moderate injury. Okay. You have space for that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
So, and for Snake Eyes, I feel like Snake Eyes should be something horrible happens. In addition, I think it dips your weird die. So dip your weird die.
Buddy's
Yeah, it
weird
does.
die.
Everyone's, that's right.
Everyone.
What happens if you
Mine
can't dip your weird
go
die?
any
Is
further.
is Ashley just dead now, Steven? Because she can't go lower? I got it. A nod.
Steven says
Nope,
no.
I heard a nod.
You can't see him. I
heard a
can
nod.
see him.
Okay.
You heard a nod.
Looking at my own monitor. Okay. This is what's gonna happen, Lullaby. If you're cool with this, you tell me. If you're not cool with it, you know, we could do something else. But this sounds fun. He's gonna grab you, smash you a bit, and then throw you into the water. The Snake Eyes. So take your moderate injury, and you splash down into that oily water, and the boat is still moving. And remember that there's like this bubble of fire. And so if you don't scramble up quickly, bad things could very much befall Lullaby. Okay. But let's go over to the cargo bay first. Cargo bay, one left. Lena, Petra, the two of you are here. What do you want to do?
Try to take this last one out.
Go for it. Take your bow
so
shot.
I've got to roll the d8 first because I'm still bushed, I believe. So
Okay.
rolling the d8 to see what's going on with that. Roll the 5, so still affected by that.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a d8 and a d6 for my long guns. Oh, crap. So
Okay,
5 and a 4.
Do you have anything else
I
you can
haven't
use?
done the thingy yet, so I'm gonna drop the. I don't think I have any aces. I don't have any aces, so I'll drop
You
my
don't.
weird die for a reroll. I'm not feeling so good about this because I've got to roll really well to pass this, but I'm gonna try.
Okay.
You got this.
I still don't got this. A lolly and a 2 is an 8.
Okay. You fire. It's just too close. As you try to fire, like it's one of its arms flails and just knocks the bow, and the arrow flies wildly. And then it's going to turn around and try to claw your face off. Ace of clubs. Clubs is grit. If you want to give us a grit test, it tries to, after it knocks the bow asunder, it tries to claw on your face.
Okay, so my weird is down to a D8, and my grit is also a D8, but because I'm bushed, it means it is busted, which means it's a D8 and a D6.
Kill you guys.
For the third time, rolling a D8 and a D6.
Okay.
Let's see. So 1 and a 2.
Okay.
Oh,
so
man.
Because you're a bust, that means you increase your whatever injury you take.
The injuries, yep.
So normally this would be a minor injury, but that means you're taking a moderate injury.
Yep.
So what does that look like as this thing essentially tries to claw your face off?
So I'm trying to what an injury would be. So moderate injury. So a fracture of some kind. So it fractures my arm, I would say.
Okay. All right. So you just hear a sickening crunch as this small fracture, maybe your forearm or something. Lena, there's one more here, but it's looking pretty rough. Both of you are feeling tired, bushed, one might say. And there is a creature here that is very upset that you've killed its two friends. What would you like to do?
Well, first I'll roll my bush, which
Okay.
is an 8, so I am still bush.
Oh boy.
But I'm gonna take a shot.
Okay.
With Leonard, which is a D6 and a D10.
Okay.
15.
Got this. You rolled a 15, you rolled a 10. That's an amazing roll. So you can spend those 2 aces that you just would have gotten from the 15 to kill this thing outright.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, done. So what does it look like as you take this last one down?
I am frustrated that the gun didn't seem to work as well as it ought to have last time, and will be a little bit more intentional about the actual shot this time. And I think just it's not more complicated than a neck shot.
Okay, crumbles down to the ground. We're at the end of the
Look at
round.
gun like, that's what I wanted.
2 things. First, Lena, Petra, maybe you hear Lullaby. What would you, if you were shouting out like for help or something like that? Like you're currently drowning in this, or at least getting swept away in this current of black, sludgy water. Like, would you be shouting? Would you be saying anything?
The lands are taking me.
Lena and Petra, you hear the unmistakable voice of Lullaby as it has this Doppler effect. As it starts here, and you realize he's relatively close outside. The second thing, Dora, you're holding the damn chain. One of them is still, you hear a splash. You look back and you don't see Lullaby. One of these undead creatures turns towards you and like kind of starts to shamble in your direction, but then you hear and you look up somewhere around the 3rd deck. You see an explosion of blue flame just erupt from where the presidential suite is, because you know the presidential suite is the very front of the ship. It's the 3rd deck. It is Kaz's room, and you just see glass explode and start to rain down onto the deck. You kind of get hit by a few, and there's flickering bits of blue flame coming out. You see the sky above finally is starting to move to the side, this big red hunter's moon above you. What would you like to do, Dora?
Dora is shouting. She's screaming for Lullaby as she drops Wendy onto the ground. And if I can I hold and shoot, or do I need to let go?
I would say you can do it. Maybe we say busted because you're kind of busy with 2 different things at once.
I'll do it
Yeah.
for the story.
Okay.
And she's screaming for Lullaby, and just hoping Petra and Lena can hear her as she's looking up at this blue flame person to herself. So to shoot, that's a D12 and a D8. So it would be a D10 and a D8.
Okay, you got this. And you already have a ace right now sleeved.
I do, yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh no, that's not a good roll.
No, it's not.
Okay. So,
and I can't even pass with
7.
my ace.
Yeah, 7's not even good enough for the ace. Okay. This thing's going to stumble up to you then. It's going to slow action or a simple action, stumble back and get into at hand with you. And then I just drew a jack, which is a face card. Jack of spades is quick. This is what happens when the start of the deck is just all numbers. You know, at some point it's going to be bad. And that's what's happening right now. It's all the face cards are coming out. Okay. So this is a spade. So this is quick.
Okay, so that's going to be a D10, D6.
Okay. Oh dear.
Let's see.
Oh, there you go.
15.
You needed that roll and the other roll. Okay,
I
15
know.
is good. You somehow are using maybe like the chain kind of up and around to dodge the attacks as this thing has come on top of you. Okay. Lullaby, you are currently being swept away. The riverboat, while it's not moving at this like breakneck speedboat speed, it's moving faster than you, and you feel like hands like gripping you from somewhere deep. Things are just kind of grabbing your ankle or your shin or your knee, trying to threaten to pull you down. Lullaby, this is a very important turn for you. What would you like to do?
Like to take a sense of my surroundings and raise my next skill check by looking for anything that I can grab onto.
Okay. As you are looking around, the oil is kind of getting in your eyes. You center yourself for a second. You look around and you see almost illuminated on the deck. There is this like, you're not sure if it's a handle, knob, something, whatever it might be. Whatever that thing they call that they wrap ropes around. Like you can see it right there as it's passing by, and it might be your best chance at kind of grabbing and maybe pulling yourself up.
And then I'll force myself, stretch my arms as far as I can, and reach for the last hope I can go for.
Okay. You reach up for the belaying pin, Steven commented on. Okay. So you raise this check, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
What should I use here?
Athletics makes the most sense. I'm fine with either quick or grit in this situation. Quick, it's like your reflexes in grabbing it before it goes by. Grit, pure strength, whatever you would prefer is fine with me.
All right. I'll do quick.
Okay. Just the quickness of grabbing it before it passes.
Nice. I got a 14. Double ace.
That's awesome. 2 aces. I'll say if you want to, I'll say no. If you wanted to say you grab it and then simple action, pull yourself up. You're back on the deck now with those 2 aces. You still hear gunshots and stuff coming from the cargo bay, which you are actually now, or the cargo hold, which you're actually now closer to considering the movement at the ship. But we actually go back to the front of the ship because technically you've been with Lullaby, or Lullaby's been with Dora. So Dora, you get attacked again because you're his only target.
Yeah.
You're all by yourself. 10 of hearts. Don't worry, 10 is in the face card, but this is going to be a spirit test. As you kind of feel the chains in your hand as you're trying to use it in some ways to parry and block, almost bend and contort like they're not even metal anymore. So every time you try to reach up and hold back his attacks, it's not as easy to do.
All right. So this is not my best. So I got D8, D6.
I love it when you all begin sentences with those phrases and then you're like 45. What?
And I rolled a 3.
Okay. You are not bushed though. So this is just regular, right?
Yeah.
But you are now bushed as you take a minor injury. But are you filled up on minor injuries?
I am filled up on
So this
minor
becomes
injuries.
a moderate injury then. Are you filled up on moderate injuries?
Oh, shit.
No, I haven't. I don't have any yet.
Okay. So you take a moderate injury and you are busted. D8. It's just too exhausting. You're holding a chain to try to keep this guy from dipping down and drowning in the water. A guy you think is the only one left who knows how to frickin' pilot this giant ship. There's blue flames flickering out of your boss's window right now. You know that blue flame had something to do with that Inferno card, right? That Lullaby saw from Sybil. And this thing is hacking you, and Lullaby just fell off the side of the boat. Okay. We cut back to the cargo hold then. I think we've got one left. Is that correct? Am I correct? I think we have one over here. There's still one more alive. Or did you kill them all?
I thought
I
we
think they got the
killed
last one.
I apologize. I just forgot to cross it off. Okay. So, oh yeah, the last thing you heard was you heard Lullaby's voice.
Yeah.
So, come back to you. We're going to keep it relatively structured in the sense like there's going to be a minimum. I'm not going to ante up every single time one of you does something, but there's a limit to what you can do before we go back to Dora. Okay, so Lena and Petra, what would you two do in this situation? You heard the voice, you heard maybe even a distant explosion of some kind. You know that there's the coffin that lures like, what do you do?
Petra looks to Lena. Dare we break that apart?
I need to go make sure Lullaby's okay. And she takes off where she thinks she heard Lullaby's voice because he's a best
And Petra
friend.
looks at the coffin, looks at Lena's retreating back. And
Yeah,
goes
no,
after
she
Lena.
just needs to make sure he's okay. Best friend and all.
Lena, you run out, you come around the corner, and you can see Lullaby pulling himself up onto the deck and kind of standing up. He's dripping now with that blackened, oily water, but he seems to be okay.
Are you okay?
Lena, I'm here.
Okay. And then towards Dora. And Lullaby can take care of himself.
Okay. Petra, what were you doing?
She wasn't going to mess with this if no one else was going to be in the room.
Okay.
So she'll kind of go and congregate where everyone else is.
You still hear gunshots from the front of the boat. So the three of you will say now are right next to where Lullaby got up, a couple steps away from the cargo hold, a couple steps away from the stairs on the starboard side that go up to the higher portions, the higher decks of the ship. You don't see Dora, though. What do you three want to do?
Is Petra able to, and I'm sorry, I kind of missed between the two scenes. Is Petra able to see the guy on the anchor? Like, is he still
Not from here. Not from here. If you commit to running to the front of the ship, you would. But yeah, right now you wouldn't.
Okay. I'll do that. Okay. And I can, because of my frog legs, I can jump 40 feet horizontally. So I imagine I can get forward quicker.
All right. So is that what you want to do? Do you want to like leap horizontally?
Yes, I would like to do that.
All right. So we see Petra just leaping down the side of the boat, and eventually you curve around and you see Dora like just, what did she look like?
Screaming with frustration, because at this point she's kind of dropped to one knee from when she took that moderate injury. She's being clawed as she's got this chain wrapped around her arm, and she's the only thing preventing him from drowning. From
dipping beneath the surface. Okay. Lena, did I hear you say you ran back as well? Did you run too? Okay, and so you maybe a step or two behind Petra, who leaps over top of you somehow. But the two of you around the corner. Lullaby, what about you?
My ankle is injured, but I will keep up. I'll follow them to the front.
So I'll say the three of you come, and we'll start a new round. Dora, I'm going to say it's going to start with you, though, as you're the one who's been in it. So I think it makes more sense to start with you before we let them come into play. So Dora, what action do you want to take?
She's actually... so I can inflict hobbled on unarmed attacks. And so I think it's safe to say, like, at this point, she kind of dropped her big arm, and maybe she kicks him to try and create space between her and this creature.
Okay, yeah. I am cool with that. So we see the what does your big iron look like when you drop it? Say it again.
So I was using Wendy, so it's my Selma, my musket.
Okay.
So.
And so I think it's brawl, probably grit. I think. Okay. Because I know that's melee weapon, so that probably is right. So because it's brawl, yeah, brawl, grit, we'll say. Unless the voice of God tells me otherwise.
I'm not seeing anything. 16.
Yeah. 16, fantastic. So. Damage wise, I'm trying to remember what unarmed does. So Voice of God. How much damage does unarmed do? Do you all have
I
it
believe it's
programmed in?
1/1 unless you have something that makes it better.
Okay, so 1 point of damage to this thing, but also you're afflicting hobble, you said?
Yeah, because my flesh trait, I'm a Goliath.
Does the flesh trait work like weapons, like big irons, Steven, and that she has to spend 2 aces to inflict the effect?
It doesn't say on the trait.
If you're inflicting something, it always takes 2 aces.
Yeah, that's
Does
what I
it?
thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it's not hobbled then.
Okay.
You rolled a
no
16
worries.
on your check, didn't you?
You do have it, so you could.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you've
could
got
spend
Yeah.
plenty of aces.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
spend it then.
burn the 2, and then you
Nice.
can spend 2 that you just got the hobble, which means all attacks on this are raised. As what does it look like when you hobble it? Do you go for like a leg or something? What do you do?
Yeah, that's it. She kicks out his kneecap.
Literally, the leg goes flying and it breaks free, and it's just hopping around on one leg at this point now. But it will nonetheless try to swing at you, as it will get one more ante up before your friends can reinforce you. Clubs, which is grit, and it is essentially going to throw its body on you now at this point, since it doesn't have the balance anymore.
We
How are
can't
you
hear you,
looking
Ashley.
for?
Sorry, D12, D6.
Okay.
I rolled a 9.
Spend 1
So
ace.
I'll spend an ace, yeah, to pass.
Okay. So you pass. You don't get taken down. The rest of you see Dora has desperately fighting this thing off, trying to hold this chain up. What did the 3 of you do?
The chain is what's connected to Swenson.
Yeah, you can see. Well, you can see it's more connected to the anchor that he has chained to, and the anchor keeps dipping down. And she's like the only thing that's kind of keeping the anchor from just plunging into the water at this point. Her muscles are ripped with strength as she's keeping this thing up from plunging into the water.
Okay. So, in tell me I can do this. I would like to jump into the water and help Swenson up.
Hell yeah, you can. Okay, so you're gonna
yeah.
leap into the water.
Yeah.
There is a chain so that you could potentially grab onto and not float away the way Lullaby
That's
did.
what I was hoping.
Okay, so if you leap in and you want to try to essentially get him free,
Yeah.
okay.
And also in this moment, I'd like to use like my big thing, which is because I have damned as my blood, you can decrease your wear type before a skill check. If the check is a success, you are dealt the full 4 aces regardless of what you rolled.
Okay. So whatever you roll now, if you're successful at it, you get 4 aces. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right? As long as you're successful.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's probably athletics test because you're trying to pull
Which
him
I'm
out.
shit at.
I would take.
You know what? Athletics makes sense, Jeff. Like
It does. I know. I'm trying to help you.
It
though.
does.
Like,
I know you are,
I think it
and
makes
I
sense.
appreciate that, and I appreciate you, but like, nah, it's
your
a
wrangle any better?
D6. My wrangle is better. My rank. Actually, no, it's
I
not.
don't really
My
think Wrangle
wrangle
makes sense though. Wrangle made sense of what Dora was doing because she was basically trying to lasso something.
You guys
Yeah.
are very, very sweet to try and help me, but it's a
I will say. I will say that you could take either grit to just yank him free, or reckon if that's better to try to like figure out the right way to maneuver the chains to get him
If
free.
you'll take grit, that's what I'd like to do because that's a D12.
Absolutely, go for it.
So I'll jump into the water and you can he's not gonna let me die. I haven't stolen that golden fiddle yet.
Okay.
So and
Swing
then
Dora,
I
let's go, and they both plunge to the water.
I know you latch onto it. Dora screams because again now there's another person.
She's about to get attacked again.
Oh man. Okay, I succeed with the 13.
Okay, 16
So
with a 13.
I get my 4 aces, which I'm hoping I can sweeten the pot to like get him up.
Oh, for sure. So So how many aces did you just generate? Do they stack together? Like the 3 from the
I
roll
don't
and
have
the
any
4?
right
or is
now.
it just
It
max
says
at
that-
4?
I think it's max at 4.
Okay.
I don't have any right now.
Okay. I'll give you an option. With how you're jumping and grabbing the chain, if you want to sweeten the pot with 2 aces, I'll say you yank the chain in such a way that it wrenches from Dora's hand, but in doing so, it like pops out and hits this undead creature, and it kind of just sort of rubber bands them off the ship. You've rolled so well, you generate so many aces.
Oh yes, please.
So you leap down and you just land right on the chain, and it just sinks. And in doing so, Dora, the sudden force, you just let go, but it has this wonderful beneficial effect as it pops up, kind of hits the thing in the head. Its head cracks and it goes stumbling back into the waters, scrambling to try to grab the edge as it floats away. I'll say we can break from initiative here, and you all very easily together, Bush, Tired, etc., can pull him up. You see that he's alive, but barely. He's got carved into his back when you look at him. You can see he's got words that have been carved or scratched in similar to the last one. Why I had to put it in Italian, so I had to read it. Venimo poe su lito deserto che mai non vida navicar sue acque uomo che di torna sia posio l'esperto, something like that. So that is what you see spiraling around. My family's Italian, but they're New York Italian. Like there's a difference. Like I could read what it says. Like lullaby. You rolled your education before, so I'm gonna roll this over.
Yeah.
And this is what it says, and it sounds exactly like this in your head when you start reading it. It's like, hey, we came thereafter to that lonely shore, which never saw its waters sailed by one who afterward experienced the return. You know what I'm saying?
Stop trying to kill me. I'm drinking water.
See, I can speak Italian. Look at that. I'm a cat.
I didn't realize Johnny was in this game.
That's my frog's voice, basically, on Fridays. It's great. We came thereafter to that lonely shore, which never saw its waters sailed by one who afterward experienced a return. Carved around. Lullaby, you know,
Birds.
somehow messing it up seemed to work. You also see, all of you look up, there's flames, blue flames flickering out of what appears to be the presidential suite, where your boss, Cass Thamer, you last left, all by himself, with a door whose lock was busted because you guys broke into it, and you left him there in a wonderful state. So, and you know that blue flames had something to do with that last card.
Yeah.
What do you guys do right now? Time clock ticking.
We gotta fucking get up there, and Dora's gonna just take the guy who was and toss him over her shoulder as she
Swenson.
grabs her big irons and just takes off, just running.
Okay. All right. Door with her pulled back muscle. Look, man, I want Mavericks to look great and all, but I pulled my back muscle, and I'm telling you, throwing someone over your shoulder with a
she's
pulled back
limping
muscle.
and like
Oh, man.
as
Superhero right
she's
now.
going. Yeah.
serious.
Okay. Okay. So you're running up the stairs with him, or are you all following?
Yeah, we're all going.
Yeah.
Okay. You race up, you pass by the still jammed door to the second deck. And you can still, like, they're making progress. Like, some of the glass in the door has been cracked a bit. You can see hands are just reaching out as you run up to the second deck. You get up to the third deck, like you feel blood beneath your feet as you rush up here. You hear the sounds of like distant screams of different people on the ship. When you look out from like the deck and you sort of look downwards a bit, you can see some of those paintings have floated free and are sweeping down into the windows of some of these other cabins. But you're just racing and you're racing. And eventually you come to the door to the presidential suite, which is busted. just busted at this point. You can see it's loosely hanging from the hinge. You can see there is more of that language lullaby, that Italian that you at this point probably, I'm just going to say, Lasciate ogni speranza voyage entrata, something like that. Which again, I'm just going to give it to you. It basically says, what is that? As abandon all hope, yea, he went to here, I believe, is what it says. And you all, as you get up close to the door, this wave of black ooze and goo comes flushing out as you just sort of push the door open slightly that was hanging loosely. And you see not only is it this water and ooze, but in the middle of it, you see things writhing and wriggling around. Those small white fish, Petra, that you had seen before, perhaps have grown, and they're now these large, like lampreys or eels that are writhing around. Inside, crude oil, Dora, much like what you saw earlier with the painting in the hall, is just dripping down now from a ceiling that is completely and utterly coated in it. Everything in this room is slick. You can see things are wriggling on the floor. You can see over on what appears to be the dining table of his suite is Kaz, bound, gagged. He's been stripped down. You can see his stomach is even more bloated than when you last saw it. You can see like there's like little seams where it's starting to break apart at times. And there are blue flames that are burning in a ring around him, and they kind of flare a bit whenever the oil drips down. And as you step in, you see that there's a shadowy silhouetted figure that is standing over top of him and turns, and there's this moment, Lullaby, where the description that Sybil gave you of an oil-soaked specter encased in flames suddenly crystallizes, and you look out and you see that half of the face looking back at you is familiar. Lena as well. It is Lupe. It is the one that you befriended, Lullaby, is the one that Lena stole from. But you see the face is contorted and twisted and in this state, this frozen state of transformation, as the other half of its face is lupine, wolf-like. You see the whole body has such that sort of in-between, like you've caught a creature that is going from human to its other form, and it just seems,
No! No, I will not be cursed longer. You will not interrupt me.
And what do you guys want to do?
Lupe, my friend, we'll help you.
No, I've lived with this curse for too long. He dies, and I am free of it.
And he's like dripping foam and blood from his mouth. His eyes are flickering and reflecting that blue flame. Petra, what are you doing? I see you sneakily doing something. What is it you're doing?
Arrows notched.
Okay, go ahead. Take your shot. Oh, goodness. You guys are in such bad shape. Yeah, Jesus.
Okay. I gotta roll my thingy.
Intense session. Whew. I'm sweating, guys.
I am still bushed.
Okay.
And I'm still rolling like shit. 5 and a 3.
A 5 and a 3. You fire, the arrow just flies through the room, and it just harmlessly ricochets off of this werewolf form. It definitely looks like he's either in the state of transforming into it, or like the ritual he's performing is reverting him back. You recognize too, Dora, when you were looking up with the flame, that giant red hunter's moon, that huge thing just was peeking out from beneath the smog cloud. And as you fire at it, that means it gets to go. So it's going to. I would say it's just going to go for Petra, because Petra's the one who attacked it. So Petra, this is a heart. Okay. Actually, this is going to target all Mavericks within medium range, and I'll say anybody who is at the door it was in medium range. As you watch, the mouth opens and you can see that one half of it is that razor sharp teeth of the wolf, and then the other half you can tell it's got the remnants of a human mouth, and it just stretches and twists, and as it does, the teeth become more and more apparent. Half the side of like that flattened human molars, the other half fangs, and he just lets out this horrific howl. All of you go ahead and make a spirit test, as this affects all Mavericks within medium range. All right. Dora with a 12. Looks good. It's a pass.
7.
Okay, you are yellow.
D6 and D10 pass. But that
D6 and the D. You passed? Okay.
10.
D10 yellow, Petra. Lullaby, how'd you do?
Rolled
when
a
I
7.
when I take yellow, I decrease die size 2 times because I'm
Okay,
supposed to be
so
brave. So taking yellow is
D6
bad.
then. Yeah. All right, so yellow D6. Okay, and then Lullaby, how'd you do?
I rolled a 7, but my disposition is nerves of steel, and I can get a
Okay.
+3 instead of +2 with my spirit saves when I discard an ace.
Okay, so you discard an ace then, and you hit to 10. Okay,
Yeah.
only one affected is Petra, but she's kind of stealing herself. Who's next? That was Petra's turn. There's 3 of you. Your boss is right there. You can already see the seams getting ready to explode. You can see that there's oil dripping down. Everything is wriggling around and slippery. It's going to be. I'll tell you this: like there are some effects at play if you try to move around within the wriggling from the stuff coming down as well. So keep that in mind for those of you who try to plunge in and do some damage to it. Who's next?
Lena, but sorry, go ahead, Ashley.
I was just gonna say Dora has to reload her musket, Selma. But she also sets Sayer, what's his name?
Swenson.
Swenson, sorry.
Yeah.
She sets Swenson down and tells him to go into Sybil's room and shut and lock the door.
Okay. Do you tell him that the ship has no captain and isn't being steered?
Yes,
Okay. So
that
then
would be smart to do.
Yeah. So then, as he flops, he's like, "Someone needs to steer this ship," and he's just he kind of lets out like an exasperated sigh. "I always have to do it myself," and he's like starting to limp away at this point, and he's got wounds galore. Like the amount of like bruising and crushing of his bones from the chain is such that he is going to be feeling that pain for the rest of his life. But he starts to limp away. Dora, you said you're dropping him and you're reloading. Is that right?
Yeah, so I think that would be my whole turn, right?
I am fine to say that you can, because we had like a beat out of combat, I'm fine to say you could have reloaded before you loaded up. I don't want to completely.
Cool. Then I would like to shoot.
Okay. Believe me, I don't need the help. So
I'm scared. So D12 and a D8.
okay.
13.
Okay. So you're gonna get an ace on that. What's the damage on this?
Selma does a base of 9.
That is amazing. What does it look like as it hits him? And it's going to do damage. It's just not going to kill him, of course.
So I presume maybe he has like a clawed hand over our
One of them
chest.
is very clearly this extended long claw. And the other one is still clinging somewhat to its like human form.
That's the hand that she goes for, and she shoots him right in the wrist.
Okay.
And just viscera and blood spatters everywhere.
Okay. All right. You have just damaged him. So,
Yeah.
okay. So he is going to... Just want to check something. Okay. So he is going to, on his ante, he's going to simple action probably... Well, we'll see what I ante up. But he'll target Dora, who just hurt him. 6 of hearts. So he starts to slow. It looks at first like he's going to charge at you, but Then he kind of hesitates as he looks back at the table and the ritual that he has performed, the flames. And then he just howls, unleash another sickly howl once more. So all of you go ahead and give me that save again. Give me that spirit save. This time as he does so, like you can see, like the face itself is contorting as he howls. So one half is getting more human, the other half is getting more wolf-like.
6 fail.
Oh boy, it's a fail. Oh,
Definitely
Ashley.
2 ones.
Ashley rolled a snake eyes. Lena got a fail. Petra.
Failed.
Okay. As this time, as he howls, you can see like the flames, the blue flames, just seem to grow more intense, and they begin to flicker across the ceiling a bit before kind of winking out a bit. And maybe that adds to the effect. So all of you who failed, go ahead and take yellow D10. Ashley, you need to you would normally reduce your what's it called? Your weird die 1.
My weird die.
I'm gonna say, do you got any injury slots left?
Moderate or major.
Okay. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's just up the effect to a D12. Yellow D12.
Okay.
Okay.
So am I rolling the yellow d12 right now, or?
No. When it's your turn to go, you roll to see if you suffer from the effect that turn.
Got it.
All right. So Petra's gone. Dora's gone. It's taken a little bit of damage. Still seems to be very healthy. Lena or Lullaby?
I'd like to go and try and disrupt the ritual.
Okay.
So if there's like markings on the floor or anything.
So you're going to try to like look around for any kind of, okay. So you're going to, that means you're going inside. Okay. So when you go inside, you feel that the floor itself has got maybe a couple inches worth of liquid, oil, water, and there's things wriggling around that kind of wrap around your ankles a bit as you move. So while you're in here, and you're in this like wriggling floor, all your saves, your quick saves, I should say, are going to be busted because it's kind of slowing and making you a little bit more sluggish. So just so you know.
I also have bush D8 and yellow D10. So
Okay.
assuming...
Give those some rolls
Okay.
so we know what you're suffering from right now.
Ailments
Yeah,
are stacking up.
Yep. Bush D8.
Yeah.
Which I failed it with a 7, so I am bushed.
Okay.
And,
Your saves are busted. Increase all injuries you receive this round.
Amazing. Yellow D10, so and I got a 9.
Okay.
So
All
I'm
actions are
bushed and
busted.
yellow.
All actions are busted, and if you move, it must be away from hostiles. So, as you go to move in, and this roar comes out, like it halts you, basically, in your footsteps. And so you basically can't move all the way in. So you're suffering from both. Doesn't mean you can't do anything. You can still do something, but those rolls would have come before, like you chose to run in. So you're not yet in. You're still kind of in the doorway.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Scramble back because fuck this noise. I tried to help and it did not go well. So
Okay.
I'm gonna leave.
You're just gonna run?
Yep.
Just gonna
Get
run.
the fuck
Okay.
out.
You guys watch as Lena just turns around and flees. Okay. It's going to activate again. Oh, guys. Let's see. Spades. It's going to be an at-hand maverick, so it's going to be one of you in the door. So he'll simple action, close the distance from the dining table to the door. The last person to attack, I believe, was Dora. So Dora, I'm going to say this is going to be against you. Make a quick save as he surges forward and he reaches out his 2 hands, including the one that you have put a hole in, and he literally tries to rip you apart. One of them just digs and he tries to dig one claw into your shoulder, another into your side, and just pull you apart.
All right, this could be a D10, D6.
Okay.
And again, snake eyes, Jeff.
Oh God. Okay. So this is going to be.
Oh,
So I'm just
also,
gonna-
I had ailments.
Jesus. It's not your turn. It's not your activation.
Okay.
So, because I think you
I
roll
feel
on
like
your
I'm
activation.
dying, Jeff. I feel like I'm dying.
No. Well, you know what? We're near the end. We're going to say that moderate injury that you were just going to take, we're going to make that a major injury.
That's fair, yeah.
And so as the claws dig in and wrench apart, what does that look like? What do you think the major injury is going to be?
I feel like it's just that. Like her whole chest cavity is just ripped open. And
Oh,
you guys
God.
watch as her innards and guts just slop on the ground.
You don't have to die.
Oh,
You're
I'm not
actually
dying?
dead. No.
Oh, okay.
There's
I
so
thought I
much
was
system.
dying.
No,
I was
no.
ready to fucking die.
Steven and I are both like, no. No,
okay.
there's a dying system.
If I'm not dying.
Like
Well,
it's a
well,
life-threatening injury. but
it's life threatening. So
a death injury.
So there's, I think this is right. 3 minor slots, 2 moderate slots, and 1 major slot.
Yeah.
And obviously if like you take one at a certain level and you don't have that, it bumps up effectively to the next highest level. So what are you looking at for your injuries right now? Your slots.
I have a moderate and a major.
And your minor slots are all filled. So you have 1 moderate
Yeah.
slot left. Okay.
1 moderate, 1 major.
You're fine. You're going to be fine. You're fine. You're okay. You're
Okay,
not even riding the last trail yet because you have to actually
okay,
fill.
okay.
Yeah. No, you're okay.
Jeff, I was ready to get spicy.
I mean, we could, but like we're gonna say for now, the wrenching, like there's just maybe it's just horrific, like the amount of cleaving of your skin.
Yeah. Like I'm
Okay.
bleeding horrifically.
I think TPK is on the table. Okay, for
I
all
also
you who
do.
like TPKs, I think one's on the table. Okay, so that was his activation. I believe who's next? Lullaby, you're still
am.
left to go.
Yeah, I got to roll my yellow ailment real quick.
Okay, buddy.
I got a 5, so I believe it takes
That is
effect. So I can't move
all-
towards it
Does.
also.
All actions are busted, but you are right next to him. So I did say he just moved up into the doorway. Everyone was basically by the doorway, so he is at hand if you wanted to do something. So you don't necessarily have to. It's not going to affect you immediately.
Okay.
But the
So
other
I
one
loop
does.
back.
The other part of that is that all your actions are busted, so that will affect you here.
You're angering the spirits. I must stop you. And I'll swing a tomahawk I draw towards them.
Oh, this is heartbreaking. You two are friends. Okay.
The spirits, they are the ones who did this to me. Ah!
Grit brawling, which is like kind of bad.
No, man. You kidding?
I rolled
Goblin
7.
Boy. You swing down and you bury the tomahawk into like the werewolf side of the body, and the skin, the fur, it's just too tough and it just doesn't bury in. Okay. So has everybody gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I still get one more activation with him. So yeah, because you all basically went. Okay, so yeah, let me ante up. Jack of clubs.
Oh no.
Ashley wants it, so I'm just gonna say it's going after Dora. Okay,
Do it.
give me that grit.
Okay, so that's D12 and a D6. And a 16.
Look at you.
Wow.
You're going to live forever. It's fine. Okay. So as it wrenches free, it tries to come down, but you're able to just duck out of the way, and the bite misses
Dora
you.
headbutts him back. So we both just smash heads.
You headbutt a werewolf. Okay. Got it. All right. Started a new round. Elena is currently running away. Petra, Lullaby, and Dora are all within at hand in the middle of this doorway into the presidential suite, behind which your boss is laying on a dining table with blue flame all around. Which one of you would like to go first?
Dora.
All right, Dora.
Yeah. So previously she had Selma, and she just kind of dropped Selma, and she'll draw with her simple action to get Wendy out.
Okay.
And she's gonna cleave at him.
Do it. Oh yeah, roll your ailments.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So you're yellow.
I'm yellowed and bushed.
Yep.
Fuck.
Don't forget, I think you can do bushcraft and stuff to remove your ailments. But I think it does take.
I can do that right now.
I think it's an action. Hang on. I'll find it.
Complex action.
It's a complex action. Patch up.
Oh, so that'd be my whole turn.
I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying don't forget you can do it.
Yeah. This is my yellowed.
Okay.
4.
It's 4+, right? 4+ is bad. All right. All
So
your
I'm
actions
still
are
yellowed.
busted.
Okay. And I was already bushed. So let me roll that. D8. 4.
Okay. You are bushed and
Damn
yellowed.
it.
So all your saves and actions, so all your rolls are busted. If you move, it has to be away from him. And all of the injuries you receive this round are increased.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm still going to swing at him.
Do
So
it.
my grit goes down to a D10.
Okay.
So I'm rolling 2 D10s. 13.
You hit him. All right. With an ace. Beautiful. What's your damage looking like? You got tons of it. Look at all them aces. Do something with them. You can't take them with you.
Wendy does
When I kill you in a
7
second.
damage.
Okay.
And
Got anything
What
you can
else can I
inflict on
do?
him? If your weapon or abilities allow you to inflict something, you could spend 2 to
You can
inflict.
pass some stuff to other people if you want.
so
Yeah, I've been there. I played this game with Jeremy. He was just like taking all the aces, and I'm like, I'm over here ace 4. He's like,
No.
no,
I don't think I've had an ace all session.
I'm a leech. So once per stretch, when I inflict bleeding, and I'm going to say I did because I cut into him, on an at-hand target, I can drink their blood to remove an injury.
Okay. You're gonna drink the blood of a lycanthrope.
Yeah.
Okay. What does it look like as you hack into him and then start drinking his blood?
So she hacks into him, and it's not like she takes Wendy and she licks his blood off of Wendy.
Okay. You hack in, pull it back, lick, feel enervated. Spend the 2 for the infliction.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then is there... sorry, I'm trying to pull it up real quick. What else can I spend?
So you can
Sweet
raise a
God.
Maverick's next check in a scene. You can raise a Maverick's next save in a scene.
Yeah, so I dealt an ailment. Now I want to spend my other 2 to also add critical damage. So add 3 more.
Sure. All right, so it was 9 base and then 3 more for crit. Is that correct?
No, Wendy's 7 base. So he took 9 from my shot from Selma. Now he's got 7 from Wendy plus 3.
Okay. Got it. All right. So yeah, he is bleeding, but still seems filled with significant amount of energy and anger, which he is now going to most assuredly direct at you if I have to choose. Let's find out. 9 of clubs. Clubs is an at-hand maverick, which is you. So he is going to try he is going to clamp down with his jaws again, and the arm that you're holding Wendy with, he is going to try to bite and rip it free.
Okay.
So this is grit. And
Yeah, so
your
my-
saves are busted.
Yep. So D10 and a D6.
Yep.
And that's only 4.
Okay. And you don't have any aces left to spend.
Nope.
Now,
But now I do have a moderate injury tab
but there's a
open.
couple things that are going to happen here, because this would be a minor injury. But you have a moderate. You said you had a moderate slot.
Yeah, because of my
Okay.
leech.
Your bushed bumps the minor up to moderate, and so you do in
Okay.
fact get moderate. And your arm is now trapped in his jaws, as you also get rassled D10. You are his
Okay.
chew toy now.
When I am rassled, I decrease the die size
To
because
D8,
I'm
so-
a Goliath. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
I don't have enough room for an additional ailment, so let me
You
write
have
this down.
all the ailments, all the injuries.
Rassled
This is fantastic.
D8, right?
Dora's
Yeah.
just our little
Okay.
kid mission.
It's just not looking good for Dora right now. What about the rest of you? Who's next?
Can I turn and take a shot with my medium range gun or my... Okay.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, you run, turn, shoot, because you don't have to move back now. Roll your ailments, though, if you have them. So I think you still have yellow.
So I rolled a 4 on the yellow, so I'm not yellow. I rolled a 5 on bushed.
It's 4 plus, I believe, that you have to roll. So I think that you are yellowed. And what would you roll on bushed?
But yellow is D10. Is it 4 and up on that? Or
I think it's 4 and up because the idea is the bigger the number, the less likely. The more likely you are to get it because there's more numbers above 4.
Yeah.
Or 4.
Okay. No worries. Then 4, so I am yellow, and 5 on bush, so I'm bushed as well.
Okay. So basically all your rolls are busted, saves and checks. Okay. So you're gonna fire back.
I'm firing my gun, so instead of the D10, it'll be a D8.
Okay.
But I roll my grit, which is a D12.
All right.
So that's a 9 on the busted roll.
So when you're busted, you take the higher die, so that gets busted. So if you had a D12, you would be rolling a D10.
I'm so sorry. Let me reroll that then.
Okay.
So my D12 becomes a D10. 14.
14 is still gonna hit. So what's the damage? We'll start there.
Damage.
Your base
is base is 6.
Okay. So you fire back as this thing is just sort of tossing Dora around, like yanking, trying to pull her arm off. You got 2 aces. Did you say 16 or 14? I'm sorry.
14 is what I rolled.
Okay,
so I was hoping you could use the twice for critical.
So yeah, you can burn those 2 to get what's your critical damage?
3.
Okay, so 3 more damage. Okay. You see an explosion of gore like on its back as you fire into it. It still seems extraordinarily interested in the chew toy in its mouth, however. I'm sorry, Ashley. I see generally no reason if the single target at hand pops up for it not to be Dora.
No, it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Queen of Clubs. So Queen of Clubs is going to be grit again. It's a face card. Dora, your saves are bushed. It's going to it's the same thing with its jaws. It's continuing to just try to chew down and wrench them free.
So still a D10, D6.
Yeah. And you
gosh, that was another snake. Almost another snake eyes.
You busted it. Okay. Okay. So normally this would be a minor injury, but it actually goes up to a major because of bushed, and you're out of slots.
This would fill my major injury slot. Yeah.
You already have a major injury. Didn't we do a major injury with you? Pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
That was the chest wound thing was a major,
and you were
right?
trying to kill yourself, but we were like, no, it's just a major wound.
Yeah.
So that means you have no slots to fill a wound. Well, hey, Steven, you want to pop back in and explain how that works?
I think she was able to reduce 1 because of her drinking the blood. So that's how she got her major back. It went down to a moderate.
Yeah.
But she didn't have slots in moderate for it.
Did you not have slots in moderate?
No, I had a slot. I had 1. I had 2 slots that left moderate and major. But I didn't put it in the major. I put it in the moderate, and then I got rid of the moderate. So that's my bad.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you wouldn't be able to get rid of it. It would just go down. And if you,
she wouldn't have had spots to go down. She wouldn't.
So she is still dying.
She's still dying.
That works.
Okay. So do you want to explain, Steven, how dying works?
Yes. So riding the last trail, you got no more slots. Essentially, you're possibly going to die, but even if you survive, you're going to be changed by this somehow. Whether you become scarred or you're imbued with a little bit of the weird. But first of all, we're just going to ante up for you to determine how fast you're going to die. Like, this could be a painful process that lasts quite some time, or it could be rather immediate and you're put out of your misery. So could we get an ante up?
Okay. This is public, right?
It doesn't have to be, but I think for the sense it kind of...
Yeah, it's fine. We're almost done. Ace of spades.
Ace of Spades is the best thing you could get there. It essentially means that you are no longer dying. Let me double check here.
Because it's such a badass song.
Right.
Ace of Spades. I'm sorry. It says Ace of Spaces, my tray. That's not an actual. I think I should redraw because like there is no spaces when it comes to suits. So I think I should change that.
So you are no longer dying. Somehow the weird has actually turned in your favor. However, you're controlling the weird. You are no longer dying and can remove a single injury right now.
There you go.
Okay, so I should remove my major or
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah.
I think that makes more sense.
Do that.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So you are okay. So this thing wrenches, tries to pull your arm off, but in the process, like, what do you think happens? Like, is it the blood? Maybe the blood from like the werewolf starts to like actually you get that little healing regeneration thing going or something.
Yeah, and maybe Dora actually growls back at this thing. As she herself maybe kind of appears like she's bulking up more than she was prior.
All right. So thus far, I think Lena has gone. Dora has gone. Lullaby still needs to go. Petra, I think, still needs to go as well. So Lullaby or Petra?
All right, I'll go ahead and roll my yellowed.
Okay.
Got a 2.
There you go.
So I'm not busted.
affecting you.
Nice.
Okay.
And I'll chuck good old Tommy at him. White hair.
Okay. Chuck a Tommy at him. Is your cousins? Yeah, I'm gonna chuck a Tommy at him. You know, I just. Oh my god! Gotta chuck this Tommy at him.
At a 14.
14. That is a success. Also, two aces.
To crit.
Okay. Give me the total. Give me the damage.
8 damage total.
Okay, you guys are hacking through this guy. He has fallen to pieces, but still this big behemoth of a werewolf. Okay, so what does it look like as he is attacking Dora and Lullaby? You're just trying to maybe get him off of her. What are you doing?
I chuck white hair, flies through the air, lands in a nice soft spot. Just launches his skin.
And so as he feels the pain, a little bit of a spurt of blood comes out, flex onto Dora because he's like facing you directly. And I'm gonna ante up. 7 of diamonds. Which one's diamonds? This is Reckon. Werewolf targets a maverick's weak spot and swipes with its sharp claws. Sorry, Dora. I'm just gonna keep going, Dora. It makes sense. I think at this point. So this is gonna be Reckon this time.
Reckon.
She's tanking that shit up. As a Goliath, though, she's like tanking it up. Makes sense.
D6. This is arguably my worst.
He's got plenty of health left,
D6.
Nitro. Don't worry.
So I'll have to roll a D4 and a D6.
You got this. 4 and a 6 right now. Just roll it. Just roll it like with real dice, so you can lie like Melissa. Oh, so close. A 9.
Failed. Roll
Okay.
9.
You have any aces or no?
She does
I do
not. All right, so this one is going to afflict 2 things. First of all, it's going to give you a minor injury, but because you don't have a minor injury, it goes up to your next open slot, which is you have your major injury again. But hey, you haven't, like, you're still up. However, it also afflicts nicked D10.
Okay. Also, okay.
Yeah.
Nicked D10. So when I take the nick ailment, I decrease its die size. It's a D8.
Okay. To a D8. Good. If
I
a major
have all
injury,
the ailments,
oh God.
I think.
You do. I think you get like a set of steak knives now. Okay. All right.
What's my major injury?
You describe it. It's your character. What does it look like?
Let's see. He rips off my arm.
Oh, whoa. Okay. So the arm wrenches free. Maybe we just say he wrenches it and it's still like connected by
socket.
tendons and stuff, right? Yeah. Like it's still there, but like your arm is suddenly. I love how Ashley's just like, just kill me. Just rip this.
Hey, it's for the stream, Jeff.
I appreciate that. Unlike these other people who are passing rolls. What's that about? All right. That was its turn. Petra, I think you're the last to go. You see Dora has been taking a beating. Lullaby has been hacking away. Dora has been doing her best just to stay toe-to-toe with this. You hear the gunshot from Lena behind you. Come on, Petra. You got to kill this thing. This shot.
Yeah. So first she's got to, roll bushed and yellow. So it's a D8 for bushed and a D6 for yellow.
Okay. Dora was revealed to be an android. Yeah, blood squirts. It's white.
Okay, so I rolled a 1 on the yellow.
There you go.
Which is good, but I rolled an 8 on the bushed. So
so
that's
basically your saves are busted. Your saves are busted and your injuries are bumped, but your attacks aren't.
So because I'm pretty shit at rolling, like at attacking things, I might try to just do some sawbone stuff on Dora since I can move forward.
Okay.
Like if that's something that I can do, so I can just kind of come in.
Roll patch up on another person, yeah.
I would like to say that Disposition Brave, I get to sleeve an ace when I'm confronting danger head on, and I feel like I'm running into the thing that's really dangerous to try to help. So
I'm sorry. Are you attacking it though,
darn ace.
or are you just trying to heal somebody? It feels like you're no, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
like an ace.
I think this makes perfect sense. Absolutely.
Love of everything. And I really want to, just because we're almost done, just be up and be comforting with her and enhearten her and get a damn ace from that. It's just use my narrative, get an ace once per stretches, because I'm tired of not having aces. And then I'm going to do a Sawbones, which is education instead of bushcraft. So I'm rolling a D10 and a Reckon, which is a D12. So let's see if I can actually pass something, because, these are my good dice. Nora, you are the bravest of all of us. You got this. I can't let you die yet. You can take him out. And I rolled. That's more like it. A 9 and an 8. That is a 7 freaking teen on that.
All right. That
healing.
Is 3 aces. Very nice. You're like up to max aces just like that. Look at you.
So I am going to spend 3. I'm going to spend the 3 that I just got to put my weird back up from a D6 to a D8. And then I'll leave it at 2.
Hold on now. If you're patching her up, your success will lower the die size once, but it doesn't actually remove the ailment.
There you go.
You can spend more aces to lower the die size again. So you can absolutely do that.
Die spend?
An ace per die size. Yes.
Ace per die. Okay.
Sorry, Steven, say that again. I didn't follow what you were saying.
Your success can lower one of her ailments 1 die size, and for each ace you spend, you can lower it another die size.
Okay. So I have 3 aces. So that's 4 die size that her stuff can go down.
Correct. Mm-hmm. You actually have 5
plus
aces
3.
total if you count your sleeved ones.
Okay. So Dora,
Nick
where are you at with
is the
your
one you want to
ailments?
get rid of.
Nick is the
entirely,
worst.
though, right?
Nick could knock her unconscious when she goes to roll.
And do you have to run through all the way down to D4 and then nothing?
Yes.
Okay. And where are you at with Nick?
Nick does a D8. Rassel does a D8. Bush does a D8.
So you need to spend. You need to spend 3 aces. So D8 down to D6, D6 down to D4, D4 gone. So 3 aces.
She gets 1 for her success, so it's 2 aces on top of the
two,
success.
Yeah, so you get 2.
Okay. So
2 aces and she's cleared of nicked.
Okay, so I'll do that, which will leave me then 1 ace from this and 2 other aces that I've got just from the bullshittery that I did with my narrative stuff. Which then I could also take her down on. What's your other ailment, Ashley?
The others. I have yellowed, bushed, and rassled.
And rassled.
Got all of them.
She is a chew toy.
I think yellow. How far can I take yellow down?
Yellowed's a D12, so that's my highest one.
Okay, that's the one that you got the snake eyes on your save.
10 to 8, 8 to 6. So then I'll spend my other 3 to take that down to a D6.
Okay, good deal.
So here I am. Of
Great
course.
turn.
Wait, hang on. So bush fucks with saves. Yellow fucks with all actions. What does
Yeah.
Ratson fuck with?
Can't take simple actions. Patching up this ailment requires athletics instead of bushcraft. So you basically need to pull her free. And you didn't
Yeah.
do wrestle, though. You were doing the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
No, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to ante up.
I figure
And,
just
uh,
not rolling everything busted should be helpful. That was my thought on that.
I'm going to give
Plus.
Dora a break. And with Petra coming up and trying to heal, I'm going to say he's going to snap at you if there's a single target. It might not be. He's got some stuff that's multi-target. And so, yeah, he's just going to, as he's got Dora in his teeth, he's just going to swipe out at Petra with a claw. That's a reckon test. So as I pulled a diamond, it's an ace. Hold on. No, don't do that. Sorry. It's an ace. So, because we set that aside, like a joker. So we set that aside. So let me ante up again. King of Hearts. Sorry, it actually got worse for you, but you will get a ace back eventually. So, King of Hearts. So instead of it actually clawing out at you, with you now up, he's going to once more, and with three of you right around him, he is going to roar, and he's going to roar in your faces. He's going to like a dragon firing its breath out, and you can see the mouth just lets loose blood, and you can see bits of gore, bits of Dora fly out on you. And I need everyone within medium range. And we said, Lena, you said you were in medium range, so you're going to be affected by this as well. All of you roll a spirit save.
And while they're doing that, one point of clarity, the ace goes to whichever Maverick is targeted. And since
And I
all
did
four
say
are
Petra.
targeted,
Oh, no, there's
all four get aces.
Okay.
That's amazing. But also
I should probably
scary.
hide Steven. I had Steven up here for a while. I'm out here.
10.
Well,
That's 2 successes. Let's go to the cheating side of the overlay. My tray and
Do
Melissa.
I currently have an ace is the question. Because I rolled
Melissa,
8.
you
Do I
should still have
currently an
one
ace?
from the previous turn, I believe. Or did you spend all your
I
aces in
used
the previous turn?
everything. I should have exhausted
So what's the timing
all
of
the
that?
aces
I
had.
think what's the timing of when she gets the when everyone gets the ace? Is it before or after the roll?
immediate.
Okay, so yeah, you have the one. You can spend the one that you just got.
Yeah, because I have a 7 and a 1, which is an 8, so then the ace would pass.
Okay, so all of you
Nice.
pass. Okay, and that is the end of this round. This thing is bloodied, beaten. This half werewolf, half human, caught in the midst of some sort of reversion or transformation. Dora, you are bleeding and everything's falling off of you. Petra, you're right up in business trying to heal. Lullaby, you've been hacking away with your tomahawks. Lena, you're firing from a distance. It's a new round. He has taken significant damage. Chunks of his body have fallen off. He's got arrows and bullet holes, and he's got a tomahawk sticking out of his back. Like he has been very seriously injured, but he still seems to have some life left in him. Who's going first?
I was just gonna take a shot, so pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right, Lena.
Rolled a 3 on my bushed.
All right,
and
no
a
bush.
5 on my yellow.
Yellow still stays in play, so that's
Damn, that
action.
busts
So
your aim.
your attack will be busted. Yeah. We're very
so
close.
That's a D10 and a D10.
Okay.
Which is 16.
16. Okay, so that's 3 aces. So what do you want to do with them? Do you want to trigger
Can
a
I
crit?
use 2 of them for a critical, which takes
Okay.
my damage up from 6 to 9?
9. Okay. And you see for the first time in this fight, as you fire and it gets into the ribs, you can see he stumbles for a moment and almost drops Dora from his mouth. Blood is just splattered across. You can see bits of who he is as a werewolf, like almost like the werewolf side is beginning to revert a bit, even more and more. Okay, you have 1 ace
Feeling
left.
a
or you
lot
just-
less guilty busting that knife now.
Okay. Well, this is the reason he's doing this. If you would have not taken the knife, this would have been a very
Nobody
peaceful
is
village.
awesome. Nanny
Just saying.
hasn't said that, so that's an assumption.
want my knife back.
Did you not hear that? Did I forget to say that? Okay. All right. His turn. Okay. I have 3 targets in range. Spades. I'm gonna say, because I was gonna do Petra last time because she healed and she's trying to help Dora. I think he's going to surge forward. He's going to take his claws and he's going to try to rake them through Petra as you're effectively trying to pull and help his what has now become his food. So Petra, give me a quick test. Did I get? Yeah, it's a king too, so it's a face grade.
Okay.
And you are fresh out of aces.
I am busted also. So quick is a D6 and weird is a D6. So
got this. Just go to the Melissa School of Rolling.
D4.
So that's
and
a 3 and a 4, so 17.
I'm rolling a D4 and a D6. So
you can do this.
There's one combination of things that will let me pass this.
You can do this.
I don't have an ace, right?
No. Sorry.
I don't
you just use
ace,
it.
no.
You immediately use the one you got. So, all right.
Nope.
Okay. So this is going to not only is this going to rake through you and cause you a moderate injury, which you can flavor in a second, but it's also going to afflict D10 nicked. So you also get nicked. You also get a moderate injury. So what injury do you think you're taking as he's just he's kind of getting a little bit, he's having trouble to stand, and the mouth, the jaw, you can feel Dora in like his grip on you is starting to lessen. He rakes out at Petra. Petra, what is the wound?
So I don't have moderate spots left, so it's a major.
So it's a major.
Just so everyone knows, I have a twisted ankle, a sprained shoulder, a concussion, and a fractured arm.
Okay.
So this is now some major injury. I'm going to say that this is like, I take it across the neck, so I'm like spurting blood. So like it feels like it could kill me if not resolved.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. That's perfect. I think that's perfect for nicked because of the way that it works. Okay. That is his round. 3 of you still to go. Dora, Lullaby, or Petra. Who wants it?
Dora would go.
All right, Dora.
So she's swinging Wendy.
Okay.
But first, I have ailments.
Yeah, roll your ailments.
Okay, so yellowed is D6.
Okay.
And I fail. Bushed
So
is
you rolled-
D8.
So you are okay. So you are yellowed. Okay.
I am yellowed.
All right. I always have to flip it back over to double check. That's actions.
And I am bushed.
Okay. So I love it when it's like that because it's simple. All your rules. Okay. There you go.
But I am not wrestled. I got a 2.
Okay. All right. So as he got shot by Lena, his jaw kind of loosed a bit, as you could tell, like that hurt, and like you've worn him down significantly, and it's at that point like you feel yourself come free. Dora, this might be your last chance.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go for it. Normally, my grit is a D12, but now it's a D10 because I'm still busted. And then I am rolling a D10.
Okay. Oh, no.
That's shit. That's a 3.
You
Good
go
gosh.
to swing down, and right as you do, like the claw comes in, gets Petra, and like bumps right into you, and it just throws the whole balance off. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to now return its attention to Dora. Dora got a chance, so if this is a single target, it's going back to Dora. So here we go. 7 of hearts. Hearts, however, is going to be that roar again. And so once more, he's just going to... But as he does so, it's like it's weaker and phlegmy. You can feel like the last bits of his energy are coming through this. Everyone roll spirit.
So my spirit's already at a D6. And I think it's busted, right?
You're busted.
How do I... Yeah. Or Bush, sorry.
Does it just go down to D4?
I didn't...
Yeah, just goes to D4. Yeah, just goes to D4. Yeah, D4.
Sweet.
Sometimes I ask those questions because I'm like, oh, that's the right answer. And then I'm like, no, wait a second. Okay.
Got the 10.
All right, Lullaby's good.
Dora is not.
Failed.
All right, Dora.
That's
Dora,
just
it's a
3, sorry.
okay. That's a 3.
Will this kill me?
Yeah,
I have an
that's me,
ace.
guys.
It's not going to kill you, but it will put you at dying because it's going to give you a minor injury, and I don't think you have any slots left, right? Didn't we fill your slot up?
Then,
yeah.
So I'm gonna spend the ace then to pass this.
Okay, good. And then Lena, did I hear right? You failed?
Yeah, with the 3.
All right. You take a minor
Also
injury.
failed.
Petra, you also
Which
take a minor
goes
injury.
up to moderate because of my burst, right?
Okay. So whether it's like a spiritual one, like you like you're, however you want to flavor it as like confidence shattering, the fears being raised, however you want to flavor it, and both you afflict yellow D10. So if your yellow was lower, you take the higher die. I
don't
think.
have a. So I have a minor spot, but I'm bushed, and I don't have a moderate or a major left.
Okay. Okay. So that does mean you go to dying, right? I believe that means you go to dying.
It's not a
Let's-
yes.
Okay. So Steven, does she fall unconscious right away? I can remember. I had it up a second ago.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah. that's what I
She
thought.
doesn't necessarily need to be unconscious, but she's out of the fight.
Okay, so I'll let you flavor it, Melissa. What do you think it is that happens? I mean, this is a roar. It's tugging. It's not just him. It's the weird channeling and funneling through him. All of the violence and terribleness.
Before that,
What?
I'm sorry. Actually, I forgot. Things have changed. I've got too many versions of this in my head. You are not out of the fight. But for every simple or complex action you take from here on out, it removes a day from the amount of time you have left in dying. So you can push your luck. Jeff is going to ante up and see how many days you have left. But if you take too many actions, you might die immediately.
And that's why I thought the ante up for days remaining was secret, because you didn't
It is
know.
normally secret, yeah. I don't know my own game. I didn't write this shit.
I have ruled it secretly.
Okay.
Only Steven and I
Because there's
know.
a spot on the character sheet for days until death, so I'm just putting a question mark there because I don't know.
Okay.
So I would
So do you-
I would probably say that like she's got this spurting neck, so she was kind of holding the neck, and then this just sort of like she got a bit kind of discombobulated with this, and so now she kind of like made this worse, and so now she's just spurting a little bit even more maybe.
Okay. Lullaby. Petra and Lullaby still have to go, but Petra freaking out, and I'm not sure if you want to go yet, but Lullaby, it's down to you, man.
Okay, I'll go for it. Let's check my yellowed first.
All right.
Got a 10, so I am yellowed.
Okay.
My action will be busted.
Yes, it will.
But I will still go for the attack. I'm sorry, Lupe. I could not find your dagger. It's like,
I thought we were friends.
As he holds your friend in his mouth.
13. I'll double ace to crit. For 8
Nice.
damage.
Go ahead and describe for us, Lullaby, how you finish him off.
Got 2 tomahawks in hand. Swing down into his jaw. Catch both sides of his lips. Rip down to his throat, his chest. His bottom chin just flaps out, his tongue flapping out. Blood everywhere.
As you guys stand there for a moment, you look as the body's laying on the ground. A lot of these lampreys and eels begin to just sort of swarm over top of it, feeding on it here and there. Cass is inside. You can see there's some of the blue flames still flickering here and there. One of you, I'm sure, would race in, take a look. You can see that right on the table, similar to what you've seen on the back, carved into the back of Swenson and like painted in blood on the planks by the smokestacks. You see another one of these spiraling kind of messages. You can quickly sort of smudge it out the way you normally would. It's not instant, but it's very quick. When you look outside the windows, the portholes and such, you see the flames of the fires that were encircling this ship begin to dim. There's still smoke, there's still smog. You can feel suddenly a sluggishness to the ship that you hadn't felt recently since this weird encapsulation, this transformation. And when you finally look after a few moments, when you look out, you can finally see like the river again. But you also notice that the ship is sort of like listing a bit and is struggling. So what we're going to say is we've gone really far. You've saved Swenson. Swenson and whatever crew or two he's got left can do their best to essentially take the riverboat, even though the stacks have suffered damage, is going to be able to keep you all from crashing into the bank. And so you can see yourselves, even though you're careening towards the riverbank, you're doing so almost like you're parallel parking in a way. You feel yourselves coming against it. You feel the shift slowly as the steamboat moves and eventually comes to a stop. As you start to move around the ship and take stock of things, though, you see that things have gotten very, very terrible. You can see Sybil is alive. She survived. Cass is alive. However, he has suffered some horrific trauma in his insides. You find that Richard, despite he's living, but his bones have been broken into like 1,000 different pieces, and it's going to take him forever to heal. Eventually, you do find, if you're going through the ship, you find Maybelle Horn, who was in the coffin, and you can tell that she has effectively been drowned in some kind of fluid, like embalming fluid, with all these different like antique pieces of jewelry that maybe you learn about later. She was wanted for just theft, just stealing from the people that she buried when she was serving as an undertaker. The boat itself doesn't make it to King City in its entirety, but at least the four of you and Cass and a handful of others make it out alive. You can probably get a wagon, maybe a cart and piece it back together. You notice that Captain Carrington and those that you killed, they don't come back. They don't recover. They are in fact dead. D. Dillard Dubs, when you find him eventually, you find him in the kitchen, and like the entire kitchen staff has been butchered into pieces of meat. You can see ribs and steaks and sausages that have ground himself. So I'm going to ask you all, like, that's sort of the state of affairs as the ship eventually makes it to shore, short of its destination, hobbling, the stacks themselves torn to shreds. You're going to have to go the rest of your way in King City. All of you survived, we'll say, because no one here eventually reached dying, or at least we'll say, Petra, you are at dying, but in a sense that we might be able to sort of take care of you. So give me a quick epilogue for each of you, as we were really, really far into this, but I want to give you a chance. Is there one thing that you would do before leaving the ship? Or is there something that you would do the first thing when you eventually reach King City? So we're going to start with Dora. What's the last thing you do on the ship? One of the most important things for you.
Most important thing for Dora. She kind of pays respects to Mabel in her coffin. She does not touch the jewelry. She's sort of superstitious in that sense of that she presumes that she died because she took this jewelry and that it was truly the spirits that cursed her. But she does feel regret. And so it's not just her. Anyone who did die, she kind of pays respects. And she'll also reach out to the team, because if we discover T. Dillard Dubs had butchered the entire kitchen staff, I believe we would have put him down as retribution for his actions. And I'm perfectly fine with saying that's exactly what you do. You all are mavericks. He is not. I would say once his mind comes to, whoever kind of went through this transformation, he sees what he's done. He's already kind of mad to some degree. And if we want to say that Dora puts him out of his misery, takes Wendy to the back of his head, I'm fine with that. Maybe you bring like Maybelle's coffin and body and we find a spot on the riverbank somewhere. Or maybe you even put it in one of the carts that you piece back together so that you can carry it with you. One of the two. Yeah, I think she would have done more of like a water funeral where she just kind of will push it off the back of the boat into the water.
Okay. Which
And-
you see
and-
now has reverted back to a normal water. It's like it's no longer filled with that crazed thickness, that oil, that blackness.
And
Okay.
she does tell the new ship captain that maybe he should get rid of these cursed paintings, and that she'd be happy to rip them up for him if he so chooses.
And so he, who is in a ridiculous amount of pain, Swenson will just nod, kind of confused because I don't know if he saw any of them. And you just go through and start ripping. He's like, I never liked them anyway. That was more Carrington's thing. And we'll check in with Lena. So what is like a big, what is an important thing or two that Lena does either on the ship or en route to King City? What do you want to say for Lena here?
I think she's gonna go to Richard and make sure the gun is tucked away in her room and everything else. So she goes to see Richard without the gun, and helps him, like, sort of says, "If you'd let me, maybe we can spend some time together in King City."
So he is in an extraordinary amount of pain, but more than likely somebody has something that they can might to knock him out a bit, so he's drowsy and whatever.
Or maybe she goes to Petra's laudanum.
Gets a lot. And so as you're talking to him and he's like drifting off, and he's like, I was like that. I was like that. My gun. You can have. And he falls asleep in the middle of the sentence where he was giving you his gun. Okay. Lullaby. What's something that Lullaby does to get out of this?
Doing spiritual cleansing rituals around the ship, either burning what was weird, markings along the wall, what places were affected. It's like feather turtle totem that's left behind is what the marking is all around the ships. That's what I do.
Every now and then you might hear again like a whisper from the spirits, like kind of effectively approving of what you're doing, that tingle in the back of your neck when they're not able to talk, but you can kind of feel them. And you know, like this place, whatever was here, like you're managing in some ways to cleanse it, and Sybil might even be able to talk to you a bit too. It seems that she, like whatever visions that she was able to get from this weird transformation, this horrific thing, it's no longer just, play theater doing these readings. She genuinely is having these small visions, modest, but she still has them. And then finally, Petra, first, how do you not die? And then secondly, what's the last thing we see with Petra?
So Petra, I would say, is like she's in front of a mirror. Like luckily this, kind of like claw scratch to her neck is something that's visible. So she's literally like in the mirror kind of doing her own, sort of like sewing up her neck and setting her fractured arm, and like she's like, because she's got like one arm in a sling because of her sprained shoulder, and the other arm is sort of like wrapped because it's fractured, and she twisted an ankle and she's like stitching up her neck. So she just was in an awful state. But sort of like once she takes care of herself, then she does her best to like try to have people to come sit in front of her so she can, kind of do a bit of kind of patching up of them.
Mm-hmm. You're triaging whoever's left, whoever's injured. And there are some folks here and there that you find that might have survived. And so as we come to a close, the last thing maybe we see is like this small caravan of people with these patched together wagons with some surviving cargo, including some of the things that Cass was very interested in bringing. We see some of his trunks and some of his barrels and things like that. And you're all loaded up and you're moving along the riverbank. And like you're all either sitting on the wagon next to him, and he is in this horrific state. He's slowly begun to decompress. He's been having terrible days of passing almost live fish in his stool and things like that. And as you're all traveling and you're cresting over the ridge, she's like,
You are far better than the last crew I hired. They were awful. I fired them. You all have very promising futures.
and we see that cart dip down on the other side of the ridge, and that's what we'll go ahead and we'll end the Divine Comedy.
Awesome.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. That was the longest session I think we've since maybe wondering.
So
like that was
good.
crazy. Oh, just
That
let's
was
get Steven
so
back in here.
good.
Whew. Okay. How do we do, Steven?
My adrenaline is going. That was intense.
It was super intense. I thought I had Ashley a few times, but man, she's tough. She
So
is
close.
tough. Wow.
Dude,
You
being
went toe to toe with a
leech
werewolf.
saved
Yeah.
my life.
Yeah. It's pretty
Leech
good.
is tough, yeah. Being able to
Leech is
drink that
tough.
blood and heal.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. That was intense. Like it was just like constant chaos towards the end. I didn't realize it could take so long. But yeah, that was awesome. Whew. Okay. You all survived though. That's good.
We
Got a cool gun.
did.
Got some cool
What?
scars. You know? It's awesome. All right.
Doris got another
Basically a
life
happy
debt.
ending. It's a happy ending.
I mean, 75% of the people on the ship died in horrific, brutal ways. But you know,
For us. For us.
you guys got a new job. You're escorting this guy because this last group sucked. Just kidding. I couldn't help get one more of those jokes in. I had to get one more.
It was perfect.
I just love this so much.
And
All
Melissa, it's fitting that this is you. You're actually the first player I've seen actually get a scar. So when you are dying and you heal from it, not when you get an ace, but when you heal from it, you gain a scar. It's an injury that's so severe it cannot be healed. And after you gain 3 of those, your character retires from the wear and tear on their body.
Nice.
So yeah, I this is our first time. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm getting too
You
old for
also-
this shit.
Very cool.
We also rolled
It's clearly
a 4.
her neck. She's got a
of clubs.
gigantic scar across her neck.
So how long did she have? Like I did the hidden roll and it was a 4 of clubs. How long is that?
So that's 4 days. It's the
Okay.
same number, but she didn't
Okay.
take any
That was
actions afterwards, unless like you count patching it up. So she would have been fine.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Right on, man. So why don't we go ahead and just do some closing plugs. We'll start. Steven, tell us a little bit more about where we can find Huckleberry.
Everything you want about Huckleberry is on huckleberryrpg.com. You can find the first episode of this actual play if you're coming in from the tail end. You can find all the links to social where you'll get all the updates about everything. We're going to have a lot coming through the pipeline. There's a lot of fun scenarios that are being worked on. There's a lot of fun art that's being worked on. And we got new mechanics coming in as well. So Huckleberry, we're in it for the long haul. And we'll be out of early access next year, but you'll be getting constant updates, free updates if you've got the core PDF, which you can find on drivethrurpg.com. Thanks again, y'all. This has been a blast to watch. You have killed it. What an epic ride.
Epic. indeed.
It was a blast. Yeah, it was a blast. It was super intense as you guys were like running from different place to place. I'm like, you're not even at the final fight yet. Oh dear God, I'm gonna kill it. It was pretty fun. It was fun
Yeah.
watching that all. Like it was super intense, but like it felt like it needed to be. So it felt really good. All right, my trait. Where can we find you on the internet? I feel like you do internet things. What internet things do you do?
Sometimes I do internet things, and when I decide to, I'm at My Plays Games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic or multi-system content that centers the human play experience that you should check out if you feel like checking that kind of thing out.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. As for us here, next game Monday. I'm not sure what we're playing yet, but we're playing something on Monday. Tuesday, Star Trek. Steven, the guy right down there, he hops into the GM seat and runs us through the new Star Trek Adventure 2nd Edition from Modiphius. Next Thursday, we're going to be back in Simba Room from Free League, where we are in a pickle. And then Friday next week should be some Delta Green, where half the party got high on peyote and went to a different plane of existence. The other half got high on peyote and stayed on this plane of existence. Which one of them lives? I don't know. One of them. Maybe none. And then next Saturday, boy, I don't really know. This is going to be interesting. Something. We're going to be getting back to Call of Cthulhu soon. I just don't know if it's next Saturday or not. So thank you to everyone who hung out. Thank you for all the raids tonight. We got quite a few. We were on for a very long time. Players, thank you for hanging in there for all of it. And the folks who are watching this, thank you for hanging with us as well. We are going to carry the raids forward. We're going to raid our dear friends over at Tales of Myth and Mayhem. They're playing some Vampire the Masquerade. So follow us and then, follow the raid and then follow them and then have a great rest of your night. So bye-bye.
See you in the next adventure.
Bye.